How could anybody forget the Out Here brothers? Out there on the pitch, it's Aaron Finch and David Warner going to open the innings for Australia, chasing 206 the total in the end. Something like that.
207?
208 to win, 4.16 runs per over. Afghanistan, after a terrible start, worst possible start, they were 5 for 2 with both openers out for naught. They recovered somewhat, then they were back down to 77 for 5, and then excellent play from Gulbadeen, and who was that partner? And Najibullah, and some hitting from Rashid Khan at the end of the innings got them through to 207, which from ball 1 they'll be disappointed with, but I think from ball 9 they'd probably take.
And here we have Warner and Finch.
Yep. And
I'm going to jingle Finch up.
I think he's probably first, yep.
Aaron Finch.
Aaron Finch, Australia's ODI captain. He's going to lead from the front with his partner, the ever-popular David Warner. And throwing a lamb to the wolves, it's the 18-year-old spinner, Mujib-ur-Rahman, who is going to bowl. So tweet either of them. Actually, no.
Don't joke about the Taliban with Mujib-ur-Rahman. Don't joke about the Taliban. He's not a fan.
Okay, I won't then. But he is He is going to be tasked with bowling this first over, and good to see Afghanistan with the slip in.
Shazad looks like he's had a good lunch.
Well, he always does, doesn't he? You could put him in the desert for a week and he looked like he had a good lunch. And that one's fired into the leg side. Finch clips it out to deep square leg, and he's underway with 1. And that will bring the ever-popular, even before his 1-year ban, David Warner onto strike.
He's quite good with a bat. He's got a scoop in the start. He's short and he's fat. He's got a scoop in the start. He's a bit of a twat. He's got a scoop in the start. David Warner's got a scoop in the start.
Possibly the most popular man in the tournament.
He's certainly right up there. And let's see what he'll make of Mujib. Now, I think Mujib was in the IPL, so
David Warner was.
Warner certainly was, so he may have had a look at him there.
Warner certainly did very well in the IPL.
He had his top run scorer, I think. He's clipped that one into the leg side, and he's also underway with a comfortable single, 2 for no wicket.
Forming a very good partnership at the top of the innings for Hyderabad with young Johnny Bairstow.
He did, but unfortunately the rest of the team couldn't back him up, and I don't think they made the playoffs, if I remember correctly.
I'm not sure. I kind of lost the thread of the IPL.
It's easy to do. That one's driven hard by Finch, and that wasn't the best piece of fielding at extra cover. It's 4 runs. So almost a little inducker out of the front of the hand. It was too full. Finch batted it at cover, and I'll tell you what, I think an Australian fielder would have fielded that at cover 9 times out of 10.
Yes,
they're very strong in
probably.
that area, but that one did go through the Afghanistan field. That one's up in the air. It's over mid-off. 1 bounce just short of the rope, and Aaron Finch is not hanging around.
4. Good God, yeah.
Australia maybe with an eye on their net run rate already. Could that be their undoing?
No.
No, maybe not. But we'll see. You never know in sport. That's why we're here. Anyone here on Twitter there, Nick?
There's
One had a bit of a break.
I'm going to start again because there's lots of conversations that have been going on, and
We'll get into those at the end of the over, I think. 2 balls left. Finch has just hit the last 2 deliveries for 4. Mujib's in again. Finch more respectful to that one, covers it up, and goes back to the bowler for no run. So, do you think Afghanistan have any chance here, Annie?
I'd love to say yes.
We would love to say yes, but it looks very difficult at the moment. Finch bunts that one past cover, but he's done just enough again to prevent the run.
Just watching them do this first over, they don't seem to be in any difficulty at all, do they?
No, just a big cover drive from Finch, then he just lofted one over mid-off, and it's 10 for no wicket.
you never know, do you? But
It looks unlikely.
I'd love to think Khan would come on and get,
They've got to use him sooner.
Oh,
rather
well,
than
yeah,
later.
I think they're going to have to, aren't they?
I'm not sure he's Rashid Khan. He could bowl anywhere. He can bowl in the
But
power play.
he can't bowl 25 overs, importantly.
No, he can't bowl that many overs.
No, but he might get his wickets really quickly.
I think that they need something. They need something to happen very quickly here. Obviously,
Have you ever seen an ODI 10 for?
ODI, I'm sure not. I wonder what is the most. I think it might be 7. I'm not sure. I'm sure they'll pick us up on that in the green room. Right, it's going to be the man with the eye paint, with the headband, with his hair not quite as flowing as it was in the past. Time catches us up with us all. It's Hamid Hassan.
Hamid Hassan, on the pitch he does proud.
Beats
He's
David
got
Warner.
the tip of his guile.
Beats David Warner with what just looked like a length ball on the line of off stump. May have just nipped away a little bit.
Evil Scooters say Australia clearly wanting to be done and dusted before the Champions League final starts.
Maybe so. But that one, lovely seam presentation there from Hassan, and it did definitely nip away from the left-handed David Warner.
Might have just held his bat inside the line there.
I think he was generally beaten there. He has pulled his bat away from that one quite late, but we'll give him the benefit of the doubt there. It's through for no run.
Struggling here, Warner.
Yep, looks
Oh,
nervous.
yeah.
Crowder on his back.
Yeah. Going back to Khan, doesn't he get a wicket every 15 balls or something? There's a stat, something about.
He has just tremendous stats.
Yeah.
I mean,
Fuck
to some degree, they're not playing as many games against the top teams, but you bowl at what's in front of you. That one's covered up, and it goes to extra cover where I think that's Mohammed Nabi in a very fetching red hat. Throws it in. Is he allowed to have a hat that's doesn't match the rest
blue,
of his
wouldn't
skin?
it?
You would think it would be blue. I'm not sure. It even says Afghanistan. Is he
Maybe it's the
wearing
away strip.
He's wearing a jazz hat out there.
Perhaps it's sun
No.
protection.
I think I can see another couple of red caps at backward point and cover point. Maybe that's their kit. Their hats are red.
Better than a red helmet.
Yeah. Left alone
Yeah,
outside of
red
stump by
cap.
Warner for no run. I think that's what it is. Yeah.
I think you're just assuming they're going to be blue just because the rest of their kit's blue.
Well, yep. England's helmets were dark blue and their kit is a very fetching baby blue.
Yes.
Merchant Engineer says at Guerrilla Cricket is the best option.
So true, but we would say that, but it's also true.
We don't know what the option is for, but
Punched into the offside by Warner, fielded by another red-hatted man. Back to the red-hatted keeper, so I think we can confirm this theory.
They definitely wear red hats.
They wear red hats.
Yeah, I think they are the best option.
We are the best option,
Yeah.
in fact.
Well,
you
yeah.
know,
You know,
consider
yeah.
yourself part of the team.
consider yourself.
Exactly. Warner, no runs so far off this over. Good one from Hassan. Last ball, and again he's jabbed it out to point. There is no run. So maiden from Hassan. That was a good over. Give Afghanistan a bit of comfort.
Much stronger over, yeah.
Yeah. 10 for
Abhishek
no wicket, sorry.
says tell Gulbadin to get its spinner into the attack pronto.
Well, he certainly did, because he's opened with Mujib. And I would assume he's not just going to do a T20 one-over spell. I expect him to come in again. Though Finch certainly seemed to have the measure of him in that first over.
Yes, I don't think he was particularly good.
The T-Boy says just tuning in after a soul-destroying last 30 minutes of rugby. I'll leave my emotional recovery up to you. I presume that's in reference to the Premiership final today.
Exeter playing.
Yes, it was Exeter versus someone.
Yeah.
I saw some
Back of the length, and Finch cuts it to backward point. There's no run. Who
Yes.
do we think Exeter were playing?
there was some fans on the train.
The top team.
Yeah, okay.
Leicester.
I'll take your word for it.
I should know because, of course, I'm from Exeter.
Yeah, lifted by Finch. No time for that. Over long on. It is going to be 6, 5 yards back. Contemptuous shot.
One told over the line, sweet Jesus, one told over the line.
Now, maybe Aaron Finch was a big Leicester fan and he's angry that they lost their final. He looks in the mood and he doesn't look like he's going to give Mujib any chance to settle down.
And Lennox Lear, maybe as a fan of Red Hat, is
Pumped into the punched, I would say. That's the word I was looking for. Into the offside by Finch, point field, and there's no run.
says their helmets are red, as are their test caps. You muppet.
Well, yes, well, yeah. Mea culpa.
What could you say to that, Andy? Eh?
It's the Muppet Show starring me. Slips come out, not too surprisingly. We had a go with it anyway. 4 men in the ring now on the offside. Finch a bit of a slog that time. He's got an inside edge out to deep square. He's looking for 2. He's not going to get it, just a single.
Cousin Rossiter is listening from a beautiful morning in Oregon. Cricket and gardening. Lovely.
That does sound beautiful.
Great to reach Oregon. I'm pleased we reach Oregon.
West Coast.
I should imagine there's not too many people listening from Oregon.
No, but the more the merrier. Thank you very much for joining us. That one's a bit short. Warner punches it into the offside. A bit of a half-hearted attempt at extra cover, and that's left mid-off to chase it down. He will. They'll be back for at least 2. Yeah, comfortable 3. Warner running to the danger end.
Jay Graver questions, how many places is Annie from?
Got a serial killer in every town.
I'm from Exeter. It's just I've lived in a few places, that's all.
She's been around.
Thank you.
So said the Beach Boys.
20 for noughts. Coming up to the end of this over, it's down the leg side and Finch has tickled it away. It is going to be 4 down to fine leg. Majib has not gone into this game at all. 24 of his 2 overs and it's 24 for nought.
There's not one boy for me, I must have 2 or 3, I need 4.
Almost everything in that over. 6, 4, 3, 1 and 2 dots.
Yes, I'm not sure they're going to keep him on for too long.
No, I think that's an experiment that was worth a try, but it's going to have to go on the back burner for now.
Yeah,
and Australia off to a bit of a flyer.
They're getting shredded a little bit, aren't they?
Well, Hassan bowled a good over in the second over. He's now, I'm sure, going to try again.
Going to test their mettle.
A little bit more. I wonder if he's quick enough to find a short ball. He hasn't got the pace of Cummins or Stark. Might give it a go.
Finch and Warner are rather an awesome opening partnership, aren't
Yep,
they?
and they're both very good with the pull shot. That one's punched up to mid-off. Again, it's a little bit of a misfield. Bounces off the knee, and Warner gets through for a single.
Perko says, Annie is an Exeter, you say.
I'm a what?
Exeter.
I mean, you were an itter, and now you're not.
I presume he's trying to make a very strained attempt at Brexiter.
Oh, I see. Yes.
Exeter's the only red spot in Devon for voted
There
Brexit.
aren't many in Devon and Cornwall, no.
No.
Very strong Brexit area, but can we keep our subsidies, please? Hassan comes in. Trademark headband. That's a good ball. Good Yorker.
Ball.
Yeah, a little bit of drift on that as well. Finch is up to keeping it out.
Yeah, he's bowling well.
I don't know if you could have Exeter's. What's the West Country? Is there a Tremaine in the West Country? Can you be a Tremainer?
I don't think so. It's worth a go, but I don't think so. Sorry.
There must be something ending in sort of Maine down there. Finch. Oh, misses it. Has a bit of a flash, and I'm expecting that ball to punch through the covers, but Hassan may be a little bit too quick for him. Yeah, 89 miles an hour is good wheels.
That's good pace, isn't it?
Yep. So very much a tale of 2 bowlers so far.
It really is.
Majib's been pumped round the ground for 24, and Hassan's gone for 1 run off a misfield and beaten the bat 2 or 3 times. Definitely too late on that Finch. Bit of a crocodile hands there from Shazad. That one's into the pads. It hits the pad. Finch looking to pinch a single, but he can't quite manage it.
Finch and pinch.
Pinch. Australia are 25 for no wicket, chasing 207 earlier today. New Zealand battered Sri Lanka by 10 wickets.
Yeah, that was a fairly comprehensive win, wasn't it?
No, it's not a good look for Sri Lanka. They were bowled out 135, and New Zealand knocked those off in the 17th over.
Abhishek informs us that Australia do have Chris Tremaine.
Yep, he'd be a Tremainer. Maybe that's who I was thinking of.
What, in Devon?
Yeah. Hassan comes in. Again, just squares Finch up a little bit. Plays that one out to cover with an angled bat. There's no run. Hassan's keeping them honest, keeping them on their toes.
Yeah, he's looking pacey. He's looking a little bit dangerous.
I do love a bowler with a headband.
Yeah.
What, like Zampa?
I was thinking more Jack Brooks.
Fast bowler, yeah.
Jack Brooks, our Somerset.
Yeah.
bowler.
Enjoy him.
He's injured.
Good.
Hassan's in again. Flash by Finch and a thick edge, and one bounce down to third man. And yeah, Hassan getting a bit of joy, but not a lot of luck there.
1, 2, 3, 4.
I know Somerset's physio, or at least he was physio a couple of years ago, to my knowledge. He was playing at my club previously. Of course, he was playing in the first team and I was playing in the fourth team. But he was a nice enough fella.
Was he good at physio?
He was. Yeah, he physioed me after I pulled a calf muscle. Yeah.
And?
Yeah. I mean, it took. I don't know what to compare it to. I don't know how long a bad physio would have taken to heal that, but certainly very professional.
Perko reckons that the South Africans have Dale stay in.
Yes, not bad.
But do they? Because he's injured.
Is he in the squad this tournament?
Yes, he's in the squad.
In the squad.
Yeah,
well, he has got 8 games to recover. Not
change of bowling.
surprisingly, it's going to be a change of bowling. Yeah, it's going to be a bit of medium pace from this man.
That's an Afghan bowler who rolls in with languid grace. He smashes stars all over the place. He's played against Canada and Pakistan. He's gonna ruin your fledgling stand.
Oh, what's that tune? Where it goes at the end. I know that. I hate these rock ones that I can just about place. And then I know I should know.
Jay Graver has sent us a Wikipedia link to a place called Tremaine in Cornwall.
Thank you, yes. Left alone by Warner outside off stump. I knew there was.
I don't know Cornwall.
No ball.
It's a no ball, yeah. Must have been a front foot no ball by Dorlat to start off, and that's going to cause a free hit. I'm still so pleased that turned out to be a real place in Cornwall.
Well done, Jay.
I'm going to do a no ball jingle.
Over the line!
Assume it was over the line.
Well, it wasn't height.
Wasn't height. It probably wasn't too many fielders outside the
Free
ring,
hit.
but it will be a free hit for David Warner. Might help him get his innings underway. Yeah, clubs it past the wicket keeper, past the umpire's ear, on the offside. Just a flat tennis shot for 4.
4! Good God, yeah.
And Dorlat, well, a good try. Tried the slower ball on the free hit, but didn't
The
come
last
off.
free hit he had ended up connected with Joe Root's chin in Walkabout in Birmingham, I think.
It wasn't a free hit. He still paid for that one. He got sent to Naughty Boy B team in South Africa.
How many naughty boy places has he been, do you think?
All of them. Left alone outside off stump. And there's no
Naughty
run.
boy places.
Every naughty step in the world David Warner has been on, hanging his head, looking at the corner.
It's tickled Nick.
Australia 34 for no wicket.
Naughty boy places in Yorkshire, let me know.
We've had our fun and that's all that matters. Dorlat's in again wide, and Warner lets it go for no run.
A good leave there by
Good lead
Warner.
by Warner. Oh yeah, what tickled me before was I knew there was something. Was the umpire stopped Dorlat from running in so we could finish our jingle.
Do you think that's what it was?
I think
Yeah,
so, yes.
you might be
Yeah.
right. Didn't see many other reason.
No, I couldn't see any. We might be on fire here. We'll let you know.
Yeah, there was a burning smell.
Might be just
Or
be
am I having a stroke?
toast in the green room. Yeah, toast or some bananas.
No, Nestle's not here.
No. Chopped down to point by Warner. There's no run. Certainly Finch has looked more fluent. Warner's hit that 4 off the free hit.
Do you think Warner's suffering from nerves being in the UK?
Maybe. Or maybe just Finch really took a fancy to Mujib.
Yes, maybe that's it.
Leah says Staines World Cup will pretty much be like his IPL. Play one game, pick up a niggle, and then go home.
Well, he's an old man now, after all.
Well, everything's relative. He looks like a young man to me.
Well, and to me.
Dorlat comes in. That was tucked into the leg side by Warner, and they'll pick up a single. Teams can replace players in case of injury, can't they?
I'm assuming so,
we
yeah.
don't know. I think they can, yeah.
You'd hope
Knuckle
so.
might be able to tell us
Yeah,
that.
I'm sure he would, yeah. Australia 35 for no wicket in the 5th over, chasing a relatively modest total of 207.
I wouldn't have thought that England would have picked Wood otherwise.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think David Willey is on standby there.
No, he's staying at Yorkshire.
Well, is he going to go back? I suppose he is going to back and play at Yorkshire. Dorlat is in. Short ball, punched by Finch. Cover's going to pick it up. I only saw the highlights of the South Africa game, but certainly what I saw of Jofra Archer, even David Willey's probably sitting at home thinking, yeah,
Yeah,
fair
they made
enough.
the right call.
Fair
yeah.
enough. Maybe it didn't have to be me, but Jofra had to be in there, I think.
Yeah, definitely.
Nestle boy.
Nestlers,
Toast. Somebody say toast.
he's going to be here. You can also make your own toast.
I think someone's put the oven on, actually. I think that's what it smells like.
That might have been a mistake.
Come on, Bez, clean the place up.
He has. He's given it the World Cup clean. You wouldn't believe it in here. Any gorillas who haven't been in,
The Dutch oven.
any gorillas who haven't been in yet, you wouldn't believe the bathroom. It looks like one of those hotels, you know, where
No,
everything's
I
sparkling
think no,
white.
Andy, no.
I mean, by
What kind of hotels do
by-
you stay in?
by comparison to how it was
If I went to a
before-
hotel like this,
by comparison to how it was. But that's half a chance past the left hand of slip. Again, Afghanistan, to their credit, had a slip in, dive to his left, thick edge from Warner, but it did evade him and go for 4. Yeah, been very good so far, Hassan. He's gone for 2 4s, but I think both of them were edges through the slip area. Oh, I can
look
really
at that
smell
passion as well.
This. Yeah, I can really smell this burning now. We're on fire.
Kunal says, I've just had toast, but I don't think it's your toast that we
be
can
able to
smell.
it. No.
But thanks for letting us know.
Yeah.
If you've had toast, please do let us know.
Yeah.
Yeah, Andy would be really pleased to get loads of tweets in for that toast.
Yeah. Outside off stump, there's no run. Da. Gorilla cricket's on fire. Broadcasters are terrified.
If you could just email the emergency services.
Yes, or send them a letter. Put a letter in the post.
No, Nick, don't encourage that.
Yeah, we'll get shut down for wasting the fire brigade's time. 2 slips now for Afghanistan, and why not? Hassan's bowling well, and they've got to get something done. Bowling across the left-handed Warner eventually. Got a wide shot there for some reason, and he does bowl across. It's very full. Warner drops his bat on it and gets it just wide enough of mid-off for a single.
It's looking sunny there, isn't it? Looking nice and
It's
warm.
quite nice
yeah.
on the Gloucester Riviera.
It was probably similar weather to here, which is, I have to say, pretty glorious.
It's quite nice. It'd be quite nice here if it wasn't South London.
I nipped out for 10 minutes at lunch and got sunstroke.
Yeah. Well, you are a pale Yorkshireman. Speaking as a pale Londoner, you know, I'm not.
I know it's a lot warmer down here.
That's right. Don't need your coat. Hassan is in. Oh, that's gone through. Everything is. Has it gone for an appeal? No,
It's gone for an appeal.
It went over the. Definitely went over the stumps between bat and pad. Shazad took it a rather half-hearted, just as how was that missed sort of appeal, rather than any actual belief. There was an edge, and the DRS timer is going to run its course.
Yeah.
But good from Hassan, though.
Yeah.
Durban Oak says, now did the bear clean the toilet or underpay someone to do it?
No, apparently he cleaned it.
No, the bear did. Yeah.
Yeah.
I asked him whether he wore rubber gloves.
Should have worn one of those hazmat suits. Hassan comes in and again strikes the body of Finch. Can't get him away, and there's no run.
Yeah, he's being surprisingly fast and accurate.
And Finch doing that little thing. He just
Yeah.
waits. He waited for the bowler to turn away and then started rubbing where the ball hit him. Got a little under edge on that one. Almost caught him in the unmentionables, but not quite.
Messages says, interesting that none of the boos for Warner are coming from the Afghan supporters whose behaviour has been fantastic.
They're
Just
coming from the Australians.
just
then.
bitter Poms doing the booing.
How would it be if the boot was on the other foot? Messi played back to the bowler. There's no run. Another good over from Hassan. He's been unlucky, but Australia are 40 for naught.
Australia wouldn't mention it at all, I'm sure.
They'd
No.
just forget the whole thing and
Yep.
move on.
Yeah, nothing about whinging, cheating Poms or anything.
No.
Arthurshire needs clarification. Does the bathroom at Gorilla Towers look like one of those hotels or one of those hotels?
Yeah, well, now it looks like one of the second lot. Before,
It
like
really
one of
doesn't
those.
look like one of the second lot.
no, I mean one of those hotels.
Whereas before it didn't look like a bathroom, you mean?
Before it looked like the bathroom in Train Spotting.
It was a little bit like that, yes, you're right.
Here comes Dolat. Oh, no, he doesn't. Again, he's very kindly waiting for us to get ready and just runs through the crease without releasing the ball.
Yeah, he seems to be having problems with the...
Possibly
His
with his
feet,
run-up.
yeah.
He did, obviously, he's bowled a no ball already and he's maybe just not getting his feet quite right.
Maybe the pressure.
A few longish faces in the Afghan team. Rashid
There's
Khan.
Khan.
Still wants something to say. He'll be looking for those 2 wickets, but unfortunately our bet of the day is not going to come in because Mohammed Nabi did not score 50, but it was more than 7-1, so let's try again tomorrow. Warner faces up to Dowlat. Full, slightly slower ball.
Good ball.
Yep, very full Yorker length.
Yeah.
No, I stand corrected. The speed guns telling me that wasn't slower.
At
Certainly a Yorker, though.
Yep.
At View from America, Alex Ferguson says Afghanistan's wicketkeeper went to the David Boone School of Fitness.
He did. Shuttle runs to pick up a pie off the top of each cone.
Having watched this documentary on Afghanistan, I'm surprised any of them have any fitness.
Good ball from Dolat.
It's very impressive that they
Managed to play
managed
cricket at all.
to play cricket at all. I don't
Warner's-
think they have quite the money.
Warner's punched that into the offside and there's no run. I wonder how many cans of lager he had on the flight from Afghanistan. Probably not 52.
Oh yes, yes.
Nicely timed Gia there as
Yeah.
well.
He does come in at the right time sometimes, the man who says way.
No, I think it's incredibly impressive that they are playing at all. So
Dolat is in, left alone again by Warner, and there's no run. Yeah, given the turmoil that the country is and
Absolutely.
has been in for
and
some
how
time.
long they've been playing, and
Yeah.
you know,
So I will try and look up that documentary when I have some free time.
and they don't have home. Well, they don't have they can't play it.
They can't play at home. I mean,
Yeah.
nor can Pakistan, to be fair.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Or Lancashire.
Or Lancashire.
Judging from
Don't
what
start-
we said
start
earlier.
that off again. Or Middlesex, because that doesn't exist. Dolat's got away with 3 dot balls so far. Warner not having it, goes for the pull shot, hits him in the ribs. It's going to drop down to third man. It evades slip, and they'll get what I'm sure will be a leg by. Lester's a little under edge
Certainly
on
didn't
that.
seem to hit his bat.
No, I've given him 1, maybe a little under
Oh.
edge on that. But yeah, just a bit of a shame for Afghanistan that Finch got after Mujib early on, because that really set them off the back foot. Dolat and Hassan have been bowling quite well. Finch on 24, Warner on 16, 41 for no wicket.
It's an interesting term, off the back foot, isn't it? It's a cricketing term.
It's a cricketing term, and yet also it's more, I think the derivation is more a sort of boxing or fighting term. That's a short ball, too wide to really threaten the batsman physically, and he just lets it go. I think it, in terms of the expression being on the back foot, I think it's more of a sort of boxing term, don't you think?
Yeah, but it's used. You
I mean-
used it correctly in
But
cricketing
on
term
cricket
as well.
you can still be
Yeah.
go on the back foot,
Go on
and
the
then-
back foot,
and
yep.
hit a 6 or a punch through cover. So one for the wordsmiths out there. That last ball was called wide, presumably for being too high, and that was clipped into the leg side by Finch. Beats the man at mid-wicket. He's having a good chase after it, but I think it's a pretty quick outfield out there. He's just going to reel it in. Good chase there, and they'll settle for 2.
Finch chewing away there.
Not quite sure who the fielder was there. It might have been Rashid Khan.
That's Khan,
actually.
yeah.
Yeah.
Quite a lot of those terms either come from horse racing or boxing.
Yes, because they're 17th, 18th century terms.
A lot of terms come from
The Navy.
the Navy. I was going to say,
that's
yeah.
true, yeah.
Yeah, all the
We want you as a new recruit.
those sort of terms, yeah. Sea stomach.
Dolat's in again, and another
Ooh.
good ball, and Finch covers it up, backs the bowlers, no run, just 3 runs off the over. Yes, that is the end of the over, and Australia are 44 for no wicket.
Arthurshire. Lancashire not yet ceded to Afghanistan, although it wouldn't be the stupidest conceivable Brexit outcome.
No, I'd probably like to point out that Arthurshire is not the real county either.
He is.
He says he is.
Well, I think they are the 19th county going into next.
He'll probably get a few points off like Derbyshire. Just him.
Well, and Afghanistan. Won't have to play any matches in Lancashire.
No, that's a bonus. I think we can all agree.
It must be it must be a bad thing not to have your home ground, to be able to play on your home ground, mustn't it?
A bit of an attempted thump from Warner, as is his way, but he turned the bat over in his wrists and only hit it straight into the ground.
I don't know what Arthurshire home ground is, in fairness.
I'm talking about Afghanistan.
Historically. The historic county of Arthurshire.
Arthur's seat is in Edinburgh, isn't it? But King Arthur was round down your neck of the woods, wasn't he?
Oh,
He also
Cornwall
wasn't
again.
real.
Apart from that, he's a mythical archetype. Played back to the bowler by mythical archetype David Warner, and there's no run. I think in 1,000 years people will believe David Warner didn't exist. But we just made him up.
No, because he's been to too many naughty schools.
He could be the bad guy. He could be like Mordred. Yeah.
Yes, Mordred, yes. That's Arthur, isn't it?
Yes, he's the baddie. Yeah. Oh, a good leave there by Warner, because that's pretty tight to off stump, and Hassan may well have his hands on his head there. But a good leave by Warner, flashed past fourth stump.
Kunal is saying, as someone who's just got interested in county cricket in the last couple of years, it confuses me to still have teams from regions that don't exist. Was looking that up some time ago.
Yeah, but still, in India they all have the Eastern Zone, and they have red team against blue team in those trials, don't they? Do they still have the railway teams in Pakistan? I suppose there might not be a lot of cricket in Pakistan now.
I don't know.
Full toss, slower ball, and Warner's rather missed out. Punches it up to mid-off for no run.
Yeah, he's not firing all cylinders, is he, Warner?
No, not quite. He had a funny IPL. He looked actually quite shaky for the first couple of games, and he got quite a slow and awkward 50 in one of them. Then suddenly clicked. And the thing with this World Cup is you do have 9 games to get going, provided you make the semi-final. Punches that one down to point, and there's no run.
Yes, I'm sure he'll get going.
And Leah's corrected me on my pronouns, which I did actually update the second time I said it, so apologies to all involved.
In which case, are we what are we talking about?
The 19th county.
Yes, that is true. Usman Khawaja looking rather pensive.
Yes.
Should be the next man in. Hassan again. Warner going for the run, but no, and Hassan has been very impressive so far. 4 overs for 10. 8 of those were edges past the slips. He's bowled another maiden, and Australia are 44 for naught.
And I'm going to agree with Josh Robinson here, who says, what the actual fuck are you talking about?
Well, generally, or
On the front/back foot is a literal description is where the batter's weight is.
let's just not. Getting at cross purposes on Twitter is easily done and easily regretted.
And forever in...
and forever enshrined on the internet.
Yes.
Yeah. Finch, 26 off 21, but he hasn't had a lot of strike the last over or two.
Warner's had plenty of strike over the years.
He's basically... well, and over the last few overs, because he's played out a couple of maidens, or I think one of them was a leg bye. Slipped back in for Dorlat. Onto the pads, and Finch has missed out. Now well outside leg stump.
Inside edge, maybe.
Yeah.
Not hitting the stumps.
And even Dorlat getting up to 88 miles an hour there, which surprises me a little bit.
Do you think the speed guns might be
the
a
speed guns
little generous?
Flattering him a little bit, yes. He doesn't look
Yeah,
the
it didn't
pace
look
of,
as pacey as that, did it?
Cummins and Stark and so on. But I'm sure he'll take it. Go back and tell everybody I was bowling at 88 miles an hour in the World Cup.
Yeah. I wonder how possible it is for the speed guns to go wrong.
I think there's going to be a bit of tolerance and a bit of plus or minus on them. Comes in again. That one does look a little bit slower. And it's punched up to mid-on, a good diving stop, and a good throw makes Finch hurry back there.
It's been debated before, but I'm pretty sure that they work off Hawkeye, which is fairly accurate.
Yeah. Just seeing some of Australia's calling and running, and it's one thing that Afghanistan did lack somewhat.
Yeah, they
in
were
the
slow.
first 20 overs. They didn't take a lot of quick singles. They weren't really looking. You have to have the intent. Dorlat comes in again. Short ball, and Finch, eyes lit up. He's hit it high. Has he hit it far?
Yes.
He sure has. That's 6 runs. Yep, high and handsome. And that's that. You can't be bowling that short to either of these batsmen at 85 miles an hour. And Finch didn't even get all of that. It was a little bit of a top half of the bat. But it's plenty enough. 76 metres isn't that massive, but it's 5 over the fence at Bristol.
Yeah, well, there was one that was 45 metres or something, wasn't there?
Was
in
there?
the Afghanistan innings? Something quite small.
That's what Dorlat can do. He bowls a good ball, is punched back off to mid-off off the back foot, and there's no run. 50 for Australia, 50 for no wicket, off 52 balls.
I've got an anecdote about Quite Small and David Warner, but
Yeah,
I shan't
save
tell it.
Save that one for the late night show. A friend of mine's got quite a funny anecdote about an interaction he had with David Warner.
Oh, really?
So I might be able to squeeze in at the end of the over.
AC says, Andy, Pac domestic cricket is big on cricket teams of government and private organisations.
It always was. I mean, when you would see like Hanif Mohammed's record score of 8 million, it would always be against sort of, the railway team. And you like to think it was actual railway men. Another dot ball from Dorlat, and there's no run. Or, 930 for 2 declared against the post office.
Or the army.
Yes, yeah.
It's like when people count their averages for their back garden games, isn't it?
Yeah, I should do that. It might get me up to 15.
Competitive dad.
Yes.
Dorlat's in again. Uppish from Finch, and again, you see, he's beaten cover. It is going to go for 4. It's not a dissimilar shot to the one Rawlat was caught off, but Steve Smith was that much closer. So Australia onto 54 for Norton, looking fairly untroubled. I made a prediction in the green room that they'd chase this in about 30 overs, and unfortunately it seems on track at the moment.
Yeah, they don't look like they're about to lose a wicket.
Not really, no. I mean, Hassan's bowled well, but he's already 4 overs in. There's one more over in the power play. Do you think they'll bring Rashid on straight after the power play? I think that's a
I think they have to.
definite possibility. It's not
It
gonna,
depends if they
bowl-
get any wickets, I guess.
not going to bowl now, though, so he's just doing his warm-up run. It's Gulbadine, who was the star of the batting innings, scored 50 in very quick time. Perhaps it's his day.
Gulbad's first love was only lifting weights. Logar province is his homeland. I guess at bodybuilding he just wasn't great, so someone put a cricket bat in his hand. Gulbadine, ask his dad, he'll go on. Whoa,
Ball in his hand now.
The knife goes on.
And a little bit of bounce, but played down into the wicket by Warner for no run.
Yeah, sorry. I was going to say he's Arnold Schwarzenegger. Yeah, was
That's
that what you were going to
exactly
say?
what I was going to say.
I just thought, I bet Nick's going to say that. Yeah, he's a huge fan of Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Well, who isn't? You?
No,
I
I'm indifferent.
I like a lot of Arnie's work.
Yeah. Hugely mannered acting.
Not sure about the comedies, to be honest. We're doing Kindergarten Cop and all that stuff. Anyway, Gulbadine's in round the wicket, and that just sort of dies in the wicket. And the last ball was 74 miles an hour, and that one's not much quicker, if I'm any judge, which, as we've seen, I'm not.
And he turns to the batsman and says, I'll be back.
I'll be back. He's quite funny in Terminator, actually.
Gulbadine.
Gulbadine. He's one of those skulls that the machines are walking over.
Don't you remember him?
He's one of those guys in the bunker. He comes in again. He's just plopping it down at no pace at all. And I don't think Warner's going to stand for this for very long, especially with only 3 balls left in the power play.
We'll be getting a change in commentary team in a minute.
Yeah, I should think Nakul Pandey and some of the other gorillas will be back.
Yes.
Gulbadine's got away with 3 dot balls so far. I think Warner's going to line him up soon enough, though. Not that time. Tips into the leg side, and he'll actually take an easy single because mid-wicket was back.
Yeah, I mean they're much quicker at going the singles, aren't they?
I mean, people we like to think back to a time when fitness wasn't so important in cricket, but it's easy to understate that during the West Indies' dominance of cricket, they were also the fittest side by an absolute mile. And I think maybe that was when the penny hello Hendo, and that's maybe when the penny started to drop in the 90s, when England started phasing out Mike Gatting and so on.
I mean, England looks so fit now, don't they?
They're athletes. Stokes is an athlete.
Calm down.
Yeah. I'm sorry.
Well, they do, especially Butler and Billings.
Well, there's no one fitter, in fact, than
punched
than
into
Butler.
the offside and no one. We're going to have the governors coming in. Is it going to be Hendo and the Bear?
Yeah, he's got his beer ready.
That famous US cop show, Hendo and the Bear. Gulbadine comes in to finish the over, punched by Finch. He's now got a short extra cover in, too late. That is the end of the over. Someone's going to come in. It's 55 for naught for the moment. In the meantime, catch us up with tweets actually in the meantime, if you can.
Arthurshire, reasons Gorilla Cricket is better than TMS. Gorillas briefly failed to use my preferred pronouns, correct themselves, apologise. Michael Vaughan calls for a white ethno-state, doesn't apologise. Can't say fairer than that.
You can't, can you? What is this? Partnership worth 55 from 62 balls. Well, Afghanistan have got to do something here, haven't they?
Yeah, we're just saying they're going to probably bring on Khan.
Rashid. You think so?
Yeah, I think
we haven't seen Rashid yet?
Nope.
Mujib opened the bowling, did he not?
Yep.
But we haven't seen Rashid, so maybe that's what we need. A bit of Rashid Khan magic.
Mujib didn't stay very long.
Yeah, I wonder whether he would. Well, I mean, we got someone like Finch.
He got finched, definitely.
He got finched. He got well and truly finched.
Chris TV has asked, excuse the ignorance, but why hasn't Rashid bowled yet? I would have opened with him a la Tahir.
Well, interestingly, a spinner is going to come on, but it's not going to be Rashid Khan. It's going to be another man who's performed well at times in the IPL. Off spinner and batsman run out today, I believe, for just 7. Mohammed Nabi.
And I'm struggling to find him on
well,
here.
do it after this ball, because he's around the wicket to Warner, and Warner defends into the offside, but they're going to run through quickly for a single. And then there's going to be overthrows, 2 men backing up. Are they going to come back for the second in the end? No, they're not. I think perhaps Warner had gone too far past at the far end, and so they settled for 1. We've got that ridiculous graphic up on the TV now saying phases 1 by Australia. And well, that's every 10 overs you get a new phase. And at the moment, Australia winning 1-0. Probably they won most of the phases in the Afghanistan innings, I imagine.
We thought it was going to be an absolute slaughter when the first 2 wickets.
We really did, yeah.
Nabi in, and lovely deft shot by Finch outside his off stump, dabs it down towards third man. The man from backward point has to chase it. They get back for 2.
I will jingle you at some point.
Well, do tell me when. Give me a clue.
Shall I do it now?
Yeah,
go.
You found him.
As long as it's not too long.
The gods made Muhammad Nabi, and they saw that he was good. He came to play with bats and ball with a
Zin bowls, and again he just pushes this to backward point. He wants the run, but Warner, a little more circumspect, sends him back. Ball comes into Mohammed Shahzad behind the wicket. Now, I tipped Mohammed Shahzad to be one of the top scorers of this World Cup, and he didn't start very well today, did he? Bowled early on, and was it Stark who uprooted his off stump? Forward comes Finch, plays that into the offside. Nabi just moves around.
Really sad to see that.
Yeah, absolutely. I saw it was 5 for 2, and then there was a bit of a recovery, and then the comedy run out. Was it a comedy run out? I didn't see it.
Well, it wasn't a great run out.
It wasn't a great run out.
Nice little bit of drift from Nabi there, which brings Finch forward playing into the covers, and again there's no run.
It was basically a refusal from the other end.
Yeah.
He went halfway down. He went halfway down the track, and the other guy refused.
Sounds like equestrianism.
Yeah, exactly. And then he didn't make it back.
Didn't want to take on the double bar. Onto the back foot he goes, plays straight towards extra cover, and there is no run. End of the 11th over, just 3 from that one. As Nabby gets underway, Australia 58 without loss. Finch has 38. He's outscoring Warner, the man who went crazy in the IPL, by 2-1.
Yeah, Warner's not flying, definitely. But Finch took quite a lot of runs off the first couple of overs.
Have we had any news on Boogate? Was there
Boogate?
any booing?
Well,
Boogate. Oh,
Messi's tweeted in to say that it's not coming from the Afghanistan fans. But,
really? You
Yeah, what a
surprised
shame.
me.
I did see that he was tweeting from within
Yes.
a sort of an Afghanistan enclave on his particular part of the ground, which must be quite good fun actually.
Yeah.
I imagine it's so.
It might be interesting to find out a little bit from those people about their love of cricket. Here is Gulbadin, Naib in bowls, and that's played pleasantly and confidently enough out to deep cover by Warner. He'll take an easy single. I guess Australia, or Warner, is just making sure that Australia get over the line here. He's not going crazy, and no need to really when only 208 is required.
yeah.
Disappointingly, but in the end it was a decent recovery from where they were.
It really was, because Bear and I were thinking, they won't even get 100. I think you bet on that, didn't you, Bear?
What was that?
You bet on they wouldn't even get 100, didn't you?
No, I bet they got under 194 for 5,
Oh,
which,
you did. Oh,
which
right,
looked really
okay.
bad. No, looked good, then looked bad, and then looked really good, and then Rashid just smacked a load of boundaries and screwed my bet.
Yeah, he got 20 odd, didn't he? Here comes Gulbadin, the Afghani captain. He's got one slip in there for Finch, and Finch punches this up to a rather deep set mid-on, hits it so cleanly that they won't get a single.
Yeah.
I love this. We have a quote from Philip Lord Vladigus on Crick Tracker. He says, well, that's some of the most rubbish 2 average bowling from Australia. Okay, well, our bowlers are always overrated, plus 2 games didn't last 50 overs, so can't have 3 in a row like that. It's semi-rigged, he asks.
Well, that has gone speeding over cow corner. He's gone onto the back foot to a short one. He has lifted it. He has absolutely powered that. It's I would say that was definitely a Smaximum. It was no, it's the Smaximum jingle.
Oh, sorry.
He absolutely pummeled that. It never
He
got
did.
above 15 yards above the earth.
The next one.
You have to be able to read Hendo's mind.
You do. Can't you see?
This is not good enough.
The next ball is crunched through the offside. There is a man at deep cover. He doesn't field it cleanly, but I think again it'll just be 1. But Finch looks in good order. He goes to 45 from 37.
I'm not unsure that Philip Lord Vladigus might be Mog. Anyway.
Oh, really?
I don't know. I'm looking at a photo of the man with a helmet on.
Ooh, could it be Mog by some other disguise?
Man, this fucking computer's so slow. It's as bad as all the others.
Warner's down now to face Gulbadin, who is in, and he punches up to mid-on. You get the feeling that Australia are so comfortable here that they're not even worried about... you feel like they would have tried to take a run if that was against England, and it was a tight game, but you
But
feel...
they don't need to, do
No,
they?
they don't, not at
really
all.
don't need to, and they haven't looked in any way like they were going to get out.
No, and they're going along at...
which is good for me, because I need over 87
going
and a
over
half. I need
5.
88.
87 there.
Back round the wicket to Warner, who tucks this into the onside, straight to mid-wicket. And again, there is no run. 66 for no wicket, 12 overs bowled.
Isn't 87 there bad? Their
voodoo number, yes. It is, absolutely.
Right, let's have a look. Well played. What's the target to chase, Rafiq Azad Mangi? Yeah, we got a new scorecard, and I complained about the fact that there wasn't a target, and then I was told that I didn't ask for it. So it's my own fault, and it will get sorted quite soon. The scorecard has a few blips over the last couple of days. It's new tech, and it seems to be working okay today. The target is, what's 207, isn't it?
208.
208.
They scored.
Okay. Ruben Green, Harry Persaud says, dubious umpiring against Asian teams. Wide, no balls.
This is played off the back foot by Finch from Naby's first ball of a new over. He'll get a single out to deep cover. And he moves to 46 from 38. Warner has 19 from 36. That really is incredibly slow for Warner. But when you've got Finch doing things at the other end, it doesn't really matter.
Well, we were saying before you came in that Australia are doing way better getting singles, running quick singles.
Oh, now he could have been stumped there, Warner.
I don't think he was.
No, I don't think it was out in the end. He chopped the ball down, then found himself outside his stump as the ball missed the wicket. Mohammad Shahzad reacted a little bit too late, but when he did, he ripped the stumps out of the ground and appealed for a stumping. But I don't think
he was quick enough.
I don't think he thinks it's out, and I don't think Warner thinks it's out
now.
Yeah.
We shall see, though. I hope he has, because I need to win a bet. And can I?
Oh, here we go. Well, we can't tell from that angle. No, he's back. He's back. We can tell from the split screen on the right. We can see the bat going back in. And so he's fine, but not much in it, to be honest. He's only home by a couple of inches.
Yeah, he is. It's closer than I thought. I thought it was quite tight, but he's over the line.
Yep. Okay, so unlucky for Mohammad Shahzad, but fortunate for Warner himself.
And we could say, if you want to follow our little tips as we go through, we've got special boosted odds from Betway as we go along. Just go to betway.com/GC Radio, sign up, and you can have some fun.
What odds on Afghanistan at this moment?
A lot. They were 16-1 last time I looked.
Lovely drift from a sort of round arm delivery from Nabi that clatters into Warner's pads. We're just looking at that stumping attempt. He had no idea where that had gone, Warner, and he set off and found that it had gone right behind him, and suddenly Shahzad was aware of the opportunity.
That was a bit of comedy, wasn't it?
It was a little bit. Warner is forward to this one, showing a lot of respect to Nabi, who he'll have come up against. He was in the Sunrisers team, wasn't he? Or was Rashid Khan? Certainly was. Anyway, someone can put me right on that.
Yes, Rashid Khan.
Yeah, it was Sunrisers. He opened with Bairstow, didn't he, Warner?
Yeah, no, Warner was. I'm saying about Nabi.
Oh.
This is turned away to backward square leg, and they take a single. 68 for no wicket.
And we should say about that as well. Apparently, it's gateway ready. That's the word for you guys in India, which means that you can deposit money if you want to sign up with Betway.
In your own currency.
In your own currency, exactly.
Tucked away through mid-wicket. Another easy single. They might even turn and think about a second. No, not on this occasion.
And in fact, you get a 2,500 rupee sign-up bonus.
Yeah, well, there you
go.
Can't say...
free money if you sign up with betway.com/GC Radio. Who doesn't want free money? I do.
No point in paying for your money.
Yeah, absolutely. Chris TB says, excuse the ignorance, but why hasn't Rashid bowled yet? I thought he had.
He hasn't bowled yet?
No.
Curious,
no.
isn't it? Very curious.
It is.
I would have opened with him. Alata here. That's not a bad call. Lennox Lear says, yep, I hope some neck-bearded fascist fucking around in Britain right now looking into his background. Don't know what you're talking about. Okay, so I'm going to stop that. I don't know what you're talking about. He's replying to someone too. I should read things before I read.
You should.
Speak even.
Well, we're going to get a bit of Rashid Khan, a bit of Rashid Khan love, a bit of Rashid Khan action. He's coming into the attack in the 14th over. And gosh, they need him.
Yes, please. The best touchdown bowler in the whole silly world, yeah. Rashid Khan, yes, please. What you gonna do when he bowls to you, yeah. He's the dream Afghanistan shares. He's the whole for tomorrow. Rashid Khan, yes, please.
It's one of my favourite jingles now.
It's great, isn't it? He's got a slip. He's got a slip in. He bowls to Finch. Finch rocks back, cuts behind square, and the man out there, Hamid, is just jogging towards it. He's not even bothering. He's allowed that to go to the boundary for 4 runs.
Now my innings going, great guns. I hit the ball, 4 runs. I hit the ball and it went for 4 runs.
I'm just wondering with the reason that he didn't open the bowling is he's quite quick through the air, and so these guys who like pace on the ball do get a certain amount of pace from him, even though he is technically a spinner.
Well, this is the amazing thing about him, how fast he bowls, isn't it?
It is. Here he comes again into Finch. That's horribly short, and it's got the treatment. It's been picked up over mid-wicket. That has gone all the way for 6. Well, welcome to this game, Rashid Khan.
Welcome to the World Cup, Rashid.
Indeed.
That's 61 miles an hour.
Not quite as...
Is that not right?
Well, I mean, it's not a maximum, but it's too
not.
high. It's gone
It's
too
too
high.
I'm sorry, I was just doing
The
it for the last one.
I know.
definition of a maximum is a flat 6.
Very flat, hard 6.
Okay.
In case you didn't know, Rashid in again. Oh no, he bowls a really good googly there, which has Finch in all sorts of trouble as he backs away, and then the throw comes in from the man at square leg as they hurry through for a single, but they're comfortably home, well backed up in the end. But he had no idea where that was going, and he got glove on it towards square leg or short fine leg, and well, that was a good response from Rashid after being hit for 10 in 2 balls. He's now going to bowl to Warner, and these two did play in the same team in the IPL, and it'll be fun watching whether Warner knows a little bit more about him than perhaps Finch. Here he comes over the wicket to the left-hander. He's in, bowls. It's a googly again, and I don't think that Warner read that because he was backing away to the leg side. In the end, had to reach for it a little bit, but chopped it away down to deep backward point and gets back for 2. So 13 runs from Rashid's 4 balls so far. He may come back from that, but it's an inauspicious start for him.
Yes, I was thinking, I wonder how much they've...
He's in again, bowls to Warner, and Warner watches this one. I think that's a genuine leg break, and he just defends it back to the bowler.
Yeah, I wonder how much they've been rehearsing playing against him, or trying, studying him.
Videos.
Yeah.
Yeah, probably quite a lot.
Probably quite a lot, because he's obviously the most dangerous bowler.
Here he is again, into Warner. Warner watches and then just pushes through mid-off, and they again come through for a comfortable single. 83 for no wicket, 14 off Rashid's first over. Finch has 58, Warner has 23.
Well, there's Warner love on Cricket Tracker. I don't know
Really?
why you have Warner.
Well, I mean, I guess if there's a lot of Sunrisers fans out there.
Anup Canal and Madhu Kareddy, they love Warner. And back on Twitter, I like this. Abhishek Chopra says, hello to the man in my profile picture. And he's changed his profile picture to a picture of you.
Keeping wicket.
Keeping wicket.
I know.
I can't remember if you're dropping the ball there or actually catching it. Probably dropping it.
It's not one of my greater moments, I have to say.
Yes,
he flies through the air with not much ease, I'm afraid to say. Now that's going back to 2010. That's 9 years old, that picture.
Yeah. Well, that was the game at that was the one out at Sunbury, wasn't it?
That was out at Sunbury, yep.
That's where I smashed Angus Fraser.
Smashed him, absolutely.
Larricked him over the covers for 4 runs.
It's true, I was there and I saw it. I wish I hadn't.
Well, there you go.
Never get that out of my mind.
It's true.
I can never get that out of my mind.
Angus Fraser was larricked by the bear. Smeared.
I larricked Mike Wedderburn of Sky Sports.
My son was named after Angus Fraser.
Really? Was he called Fraser? Okay. Onto the back foot goes Warner. He quite easily threads it through the offside field. They'll take one. He's saying, let's come back for a second. Or he's pretending that he might come back for a second to see if he can draw a wild throw from the fielder, but he won't be fooled, that man.
I don't know how we got into Arnie's best work, but we have. Linux Lear says
Arnie?
Schwarzenegger.
Yeah, we've been talking about Schwarzenegger.
Okay. Arnie's best work's probably, in a rightfully despised, Red Heat. That was a terrible film.
I think that probably is.
Nabby bowls, and there's plenty of time for Finch to just go onto the back foot. There's not really much turn for him there. Again, he eases it into the offside, takes a comfortable single. Australia moved to 85 without loss.
Apparently in that, he grabs an artificial leg, pours drugs on the table and yells in a bad Russian accent, "Cocainium!"
Oh.
That sounds about Arnie, circa mid-80s.
Defended towards extra cover this time by Warner.
We're talking about him because Nabby's hero is Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Ah, right, okay. And Nabby again. In, holds that one back a little bit. Warner waits, pushes firmly to extra, and Naib, the captain, does the fielding there. There is no run.
Wow,
Nabby's and Naib's a little bit confusing, but
I
think I've got my hang on.
I like that grey hair. That was good.
He's in again. That's a really round-armed, and Warner scurries through as he pushes this up to long on. 86 for no wicket is the score.
Men with Ven with us, and he has a Confucius saying, and I like it. I like it, Men with Ven. Are we going to see you, by the way?
Where's the Ven been?
Where are you, Ven? He says all run-outs are comedy run-outs.
Well, I wondered whether you think that if you're the victim, Men with Ven. Having seen you bat in the Dan Lucas Memorial game, I'm not 100% sure. Defended again through the vacant mid-on position for another comfortable single.
Jay Grover.
Oh, it is the Australian hoodoo or voodoo
I need
87 for no wicket.
I think I need one more run and I'm good. Jay Grover says, has Sky Sports, I think this must have been something we said, has Sky Sports just become a parent of noxious teenagers? They're just going through a phase? I think I said that, didn't I?
I don't know. That may have been earlier. Finch has 60 from 44. Warner has 25 from 47. Kawaja, Smith, Maxwell, Stoinis, Carey, Coulter-Nile, Cummins, Stark and Zampa to come.
Not a bad lineup.
Well, 120, 121 required. You think something has got to happen very soon to put the fear into Australia.
Come on, Khan.
Put the fear in Australia.
I love Linux Lit. She says, great to see the Bear on tweets playing with the thought of derailing the cricket reporting with copious amounts of 2000 AD references. I can tell you, Linux, Leah.
Chopped backward of square by Finch. Again, it's really good placement because the man at square cover has had to make 25 yards round to his left. They come back for 2. Sorry, I didn't understand what she was saying to you.
Well, 2000 AD is a comic, and when
Not that again.
This is really important. This is a big part of my youth. I used to get it. I had an order with the news agent at the end of the road. You know, we used to have orders, and you could reserve comics. And I ordered it for 2 years. I had a whole couple of drawers full of this. You know, I collected every story, and I had some classic stories that would be worth money now. I'm telling you.
Rashid in, pulled away by Finch to deep backward square, and they take the single.
Have you still got them?
No, I went on holiday. I went on fucking holiday for a couple of weeks or something with some mates when I was about 17.
And your mother
came
got
back.
rid of
My
them?
mum fucking threw them out. I'm so livid, man. Out of order, man. Really out of order.
That was very foolish of her.
Yeah, very foolish. They'd be worth some money now. Seriously.
Oh, he's beaten him there, has Rashid, with a ball that went the other way. And Warner was onto the back foot. I'm not sure he was reading him, actually, which is interesting, seeing as he probably will have faced him in the nets. You go back, and he's given himself a little bit of room, but it has turned away from him slightly. He's in again. It's another googly, but this time he reads it. It was a little bit shorter. He's forced it out to the cover boundary and has made that man run far enough that they can get back for a second. And Rashid Khan is quite upset about that with his fielder out there.
Rev Rushy P says Warner's going to punish them for that. It's going back 8 minutes, and I presume it's a stumping.
Yeah.
Probably will. That's absolutely true. 92 for no wicket now. They're going along at 6 and over. He's in again, bowls. This is the leg break, but again, it's coming off the pitch reasonably slowly, or really comfortably for the batsmen, and they are having generally the time to go back and just knock it into the spaces as they see fit. 93 for
this
none.
is why possibly they should have opened with him, because they're seeing the ball really well now.
Yeah, I suppose the worry was that because of his extra pace, they will hit him over the top at that point.
Yeah, they may well have done.
Yeah, but I mean, the way they're looking at it, as this is forced up to long on for another single, is we've got Mujeeb opening the bowling at one end. Dare we open with 2 spinners? Or maybe it's the wrong spinner. Maybe
not Mujeeb.
Yeah, maybe not Mujeeb, absolutely. That's the end of Rashid's second over. He's gone for 21 runs. It's 94 for no wicket.
Right. Messi Jez on tour says, yes, hello, the Afghan fans who must outnumber Aussies by 10 to 1. A great company.
Wow.
They know their cricket, love their team, and manage to dance and sing without any alcoholic assistance. Man, that's tricky. The Queen dropped by 2. Oh, really? There's some... No.
The Queen dropped by.
No, then he sent a photo of some pissed people, English people.
Oh, dressed up as
beef eaters with a Queen.
They're not beef eaters. They're
yes, no, guardsmen, horse guardsmen
yes,
with big fluffy things on their head.
Yes, fluffy things. Small creatures, something like that.
Roger Melly's in touch.
Yes, I saw that earlier. Now, actually, I imagine you've gone over this ad infinitum, really, the notion of Afghanistan choosing to bat when they won the toss. That did seem odd. However, I suppose it's an attempt to make a positive statement. Unfortunately, losing 2 wickets for 5 doesn't really make that
they
statement.
wanted to put runs on the board, didn't they?
Gulbadin Naib is in. Oh, it's an awful ball. It's wide, it's full. And actually, in the end, Finch is almost leaning back as he drives that out to deep extra. Comes back for the second. 66 to him, 28 to Warner, 96 for no wicket. The target is 208.
Roger Melly. He's obviously annoying at something, because that's Roger. He says, why does Warner unfasten and refasten his gloves every fucking ball? Most idiotic, annoying habit ever. It is really annoying.
Batsmen have a lot of twitches.
They do. They have a lot of
things.
What do they call them? Trigger movements, isn't it?
This is wide. He's gone for the big hit. I think he held that one back, Naib. That might be very decent.
Yay!
And the catch is taken by that man on the cover boundary. He's fooled him, has the captain of Afghanistan, and Finch has gone for a very well-made 66 from 49. Australia lose their first wicket at 96. Now, are you talking about Schwarzenegger? Now look at
he's got guns.
Knight.
He's got guns.
Great guns, hasn't he?
Yeah, well, he's a bodybuilder, isn't he?
Is he a
Yeah,
bodybuilder?
yeah, yeah.
Oh, is that why you were talking about it? Okay, well, it was Mujib was
Is that
the
why
man.
we were talking about Arnie?
It probably is,
Ah,
yeah.
you
It all
see,
makes
we all
sense
get there in the
now.
end.
Yeah, you two are a bit slow,
Yeah,
but
we are a bit.
luckily I've read my stat.
Well,
pack.
did you? Did you stay? I hope you stayed in last night. I hope you stayed in last night.
Yeah, I never read these stats.
Well, that's interesting because I don't remember writing that, and I did the Afghanistan stats pack. So that's curious.
There you go. So it's a total waste of time. Is that what you're telling me, Hendo?
Probably.
Yeah, okay.
Anyway, good stuff from him. And Mujib was the young man out on the boundary who took the catch. And so at least he's done something today. 96 for 1 is the score. Should we tell people that you can actually support Guerrilla Cricket on Patreon?
Yeah, absolutely.
If you go to Patreon, patreon.com/Guerrilla Cricket, 1R, 2 Ls, you can help us to keep alternative internet commentary going by committing to a donation on a monthly basis. If you give us $2 a month, because it's an American website we do it through, you get our undying gratitude. If you give us $10 or more a month, you get a regular shout out in the form of a little ticker that goes across our Facebook Live feed. So if
your
you're looking,
name goes up in lights.
your
man.
name is in lights. You will be known around the world.
Absolutely. Like, I'm looking at it now. There's Saad Siddiqui, Sam Gibbs, Esper Young at yahoo.co.uk, Schwenky, Belenky, Scott
Loads of
Jones,
Blinky
Sean
Blinky.
Barry. You know, you people
Sounds-
are famous around the world.
And it sounds like something out of the Teletubbies, I have to say.
Absolutely. Who cares? Sean Tracy, our very own Nestle boy. Sean Morris, lovely. We love you people. Jay Grover has admonished me. He says, please don't pre-retweet Spare. I'd be eternally silenced. And then he calls me a Bradman. It's all right. It's all right, Jay.
Well, it's Usman Khawaja who's been in pretty good form who's in, but it's Warner facing initially, and it's down the leg side, and well, that reminded me somewhat of Dwayne Leverock diving to take a catch in the 2007 World Cup, because that was Mohammed Jasad. Not quite as beefy as Dwayne Leverock, but it was rather a tumble to the right to take that. It was a wide down the leg side, so another run goes to the score. But he got across there, scrambled across, and then probably disrupted a number of insects there from having a quiet time behind the wicket. Better ball, defended up to mid-off. The man from extra cover comes across, does the dummy run, so Warner is not sure to take off, so no run is scored.
Oh, I like this.
Go on.
Christ the choir. In the list, random fact, but in the list of best bowling in ODIs, England appear 10 times as the victimised team, before Collingwood has 6 for 31. Even Scotland have a better best bowling than England.
We're very good victims. This is played comfortably into the covers, but well fielded at point, and there is no run. 97 for 1, Warner 28. The man gone is Finch for 66.
Leia was talking about how Michael Vaughan feels about people. That was the tweet.
Okay.
So we're not going to go into that.
No, we're not mentioning
But
him.
now I understand what you're saying, Lennox.
In again, Warner drops this down, looking for the single towards gully. In comes the man from backward point and keeps him at that end. And there is no run.
And she also refers to Red Heat, of course, also has James Belushi. It was a kind
James Belushi.
It was one of those 80s comedy action movies because Arnie couldn't act.
I don't know what you mean.
Yeah, well, Jay Grove reminds me about Strontium Dog. He was one of the best characters in 2000 AD. I did love him.
Warner will get a run this time as he nurdles this through square leg. Ball on the line of leg stump, and they come through for a single. He should keep the strike. He has stolen the strike from poor old Usman Khawaja. And Gulbadin has finished a successful over, the first successful over for Afghanistan. He has figures at 3 overs, 1 for 13.
The message on tour is with me. He says, I'm with you, Bear. He had 2 years' worth of new Hotspur. I don't know what that is. Bound Together, which his mum made him donate to the kids' hospital. He says, mums, what do they know? Exactly, messages.
It's kind of kind, though, isn't it?
No,
Kids'
no.
Hospital.
No.
Kids' Hospital, Bear. You were
because it
you
would
were
be split up.
privileged. You were a privileged young boy.
I didn't get mine. Were just thrown into a bin.
Oh, right.
Tossed
Okay.
out.
Oh, okay. Fair enough.
I had the entire Mega City Wars and something else.
But it wasn't recycled either.
There were like 22 episodes over 22 weeks. You had to collect them. They're probably a fucking collector's item now.
When do you want me to jingle Khawaja?
Well, shall we wait till he's facing?
Yeah.
Rashid then bowls to Warner, who defends on the front foot. Into the covers. There is
if
no
Warner
run.
lets him face.
If indeed, I mean, he's probably good. It's interesting to see that Warner on 29 from 55 has only hit 2 boundaries.
He hasn't. As I was saying, he hasn't looked on song really.
He's in again, bowls. He's giving himself room outside the leg stump again, trying to force, but once more hitting it straight towards extra cover.
Those glove fiddlings.
Oh yes, he's doing that. Well, you remember how Alex Stewart used to really twiddle his bat?
God, yeah.
Talking about that, yeah. Abhishek says Roger Miller doesn't like Jai Surya. Trot Dhoni then.
Now he waits for this and plays a beautiful shot. That will bring him a 3rd 4 because the man who's allegedly in pursuit, Hazmat, is not going to pursue it with much vigour.
Hazmat's suit is too heavy.
Yeah, and he's gone to 3rd man for 4. He played that really nicely. I think it's the top spinner. He went back and he used the pace of the ball, opened the face, ran it down fine of Hazmat, and he was never going to get there.
This is done in 34 overs.
Yeah, I was going to say that. Tossed up this time on the line of the leg
Probably
stump.
quicker,
flicked away to short fine leg, who moves round to his right to field. Australia go to 103 for 1. That boundary brought up the Aussie 100. And we're being really left short, aren't we, with what's happened since the England-South Africa game?
We have indeed. There are going to be a fair few games like this. It's a World Cup.
Well, allegedly there shouldn't be, though, should there? On the basis that we've not allowed any of the poorer, supposedly inferior teams in. I hope Sri Lanka are going to get a bit better. This is defended back to him. Khawaja has faced his first ball. We'll jingle him up at the end of the over.
They've got some, they'll have a good game or two. They've got some reasonably good players. They're just not very consistent.
Hope so.
Well, they're not very consistent. They've got to play 9 games. They've got to have 2 or 3 decent games.
Defended on the back foot by Khawaja.
Right, I'm going to jingle him now.
Okay.
Overseas now plays for Australia. We fell in love with Usman Khawaja. Overseas now plays for Australia. We fell in love with Usman Khawaja.
Well, it is actually going to be drinks. So we're going to have a bit of a break. But I was going to argue the toss about that, Bear. If you think that Sri Lanka would... they've lost 5-0 to South Africa. They've lost their warm-up to South Africa. I'm trying to think, did they play in another warm-up?
Yeah, but
they lost to India.
Yeah,
and
these are
they
all
lost, if you
England.
remember, going back to the Asia Cup at the end of last year, or September last year, they couldn't even beat the supposedly poorer teams in that competition.
Yeah,
they went out early. They haven't won for flaming years.
Well, exactly, so they'll win eventually. I mean, the thing is, something comes off one. Kurunaratne gets 150 in one game.
You've got to look at the fact Kurunaratne carried his bat today, opening the bat, and this is a man who hadn't played a one-day international until recently, since 2015. He is not a one-day batsman.
No, he's not.
He's a test batsman. He's now, remarkably for him, he's now carried his bat in both a test and a one-day international. There can't be too many people who've done that.
I think you feel quite strongly about this.
I do. I
do think. I mean, they're weak and whatever, but I mean, they've got to play 9 games. They might have 2 or 3 games where they click and they get it together and they cause someone a problem. They might not win. I'm not saying they'll necessarily win.
And
but they could be
Matthews
involved in it. Yeah,
getting-
He's getting old, but he's still got an innings
he's
left.
not actually that old. He's 31.
Yeah, but
he's been around forever. He's been around since he was about 17.
He seems to be playing forever.
Yeah,
and
there's
there's a lot of machinations in Sri Lankan cricket.
Yes, of course there are. But this is my point. But what I want. The point I want to make is they're not a terrible team. They're not individually. They're not terrible players.
Exactly.
But at the moment, there seems to be absolutely no morale in that team.
No, at all. But they get one win against somebody, and it can turn it all around, and everyone.
I don't think it will turn around because they haven't got enough of those players.
No, I mean I agree with you. I don't think they're going anywhere. But I think that they're capable of causing an upset, and these things can happen. The weirdest things happen. It's like some shit team in a World Cup who sticks it to someone they shouldn't. I mean, Germany. What did they do? They drew against someone in the last World Cup, and they should have won.
Drew against someone.
I can't remember.
What kind of a statement is that? You can't even remember.
All right.
Well, I'm right. Okay.
Yeah. But you know what I mean. Robbie Al-Islam says hello anyway.
Has he? Oh right, hello. All right. Well, that's good to know.
That's good to know. Let me get
changing the subject, I think.
Josh Robinson says the guardsmen, I think the hats are called Busbies. Is that right?
I think that
didn't
is
know
right, yeah. I think,
okay.
yeah.
Not fluffy things.
Not
No.
just fluffy things,
Okay.
no.
Next list says Naib has nothing on Arnie.
No, that's
See,
true.
Predator, then again, is probably a better bowler than Arnie.
Now, that would be interesting.
Yeah.
Well, he's done pretty much everything. He's been an actor, so-called. He's been governor
He's in
of
politics.
California.
Yeah, California.
Yeah,
isn't it?
so, you know,
Was that everything?
that's pretty much everything, isn't it? You know.
Josh claims a near complete set of blue Peter annuals. It's not as good as 2000 AD, mate.
Not even close.
We're looking at the innings of Aaron Finch. He hit 6 4s and 4 6s and then got fooled by a slower one from Gulbadin. But it was a very proactive innings, and he batted very well.
A captain's innings.
Indeed. I suppose that's true, isn't it, now? I find it hard to think of Finch as the captain of Australia. I automatically assume in my head that it's still Smith, but obviously it isn't.
Obs.
You go on.
Chris DB, one of our men in South Africa, he says, talking about calling people Bradmans. People like to drag stuff up in the past. He says KG's team clearly haven't scrubbed his pre-fame tweets. In 2013, on the 15th of May, Kagisa Rabada tweeted, "Why have I grown an obsession for the word Bradman?"
Well, there you go.
There you go.
Well, he wasn't listening to us, was he?
No, it probably doesn't matter as much down in South Africa.
I saw this morning that Rabada has been calling Kohli immature.
Rabada has? Over what?
Over his behaviour on field. Doesn't like it given back to him, apparently. This is defended up to mid-off by Warner as Gulbadin starts his 4th over, the drinks interval completed. Yeah, apparently, during the IPL they came up against each other. And
I think he's very excitable on the field.
Oh, Kohli?
But I kind of like that in some ways because it shows how passionate he is about it.
Well, he is passionate, but I mean, if he's one of these guys who gives it out but won't take it back, then that's
that is.
Warner waits for this, drops it into the offside. Khawaja had already advanced, but the man at extra cover was in very rapidly, picked it up, swivelled and threw at the non-striker's end, but didn't make contact with the stumps. And Gulbadin, the captain, the man who took over or was appointed to the role when Asghar Afghan was forced out. I don't think that was necessarily a bad move in the sense that we'd watched Asghar captain, onto the back foot goes Warner, cuts powerfully out to deep cover and picks up a single. Daulat Zadran is the man who fields that, as I was taking my glasses off to see the number on his back. And they move to 104 for 1. Gulbadin, I don't know what he brings the team in one sense. I don't think he's been captain of any other form of the game, but Asghar Afghan certainly lets games drift a little bit. That said, he did prove inspirational in the World Cup qualifiers. They really only came to the party once he was back in the team.
Yeah.
Anyway, it's Gulbadin who has that mantle at the moment, and Khawaja has his first run as he just opens the face, lays this down to third man.
Zahid Hussein Jalan says hi.
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 I should really be drinking Manny's beer, shouldn't I? On the basis that we are supposed to be sponsored by him, but there you go.
I'm not going to get to drink much now.
Manny's beer.
Manny's a brewer, did you not know?
Yeah, he is now.
Yeah, he's a brewer.
I got him his brewer too.
You're amazing, Bear.
Gulbadin in again, pulled by Warner, down to long leg. Oh, that's terrible fielding. Is that Hamid Hassan down there? That is just rank. The ball was travelling. He got across to it, and just when he got there, he did absolutely nothing. Now he's holding his finger. Oh, no, bless him.
I tell you what, one of the bets of the days we came up with, me and Grubby, when we were brainstorming, when Pakistan play
Afghanistan. Yeah.
It was going to be 2 stumpings.
Yeah.
Over 4.5 overthrows. And over 1.5 run-outs.
Oh, that'd be entertaining.
That's an interesting one, isn't it?
Warner opens the face, pushes to back the point. There is no run. Just looking at that piece of fielding, he got round, and then the ball was bobbling a little bit, but he should have got his body behind it. He should have been a bit quicker and got his body behind it. Then he would have. He just laid in front of it. He would have stopped it.
You two were talking so much. I couldn't put my 4. I couldn't do the 4 jingle.
I'm very sorry.
That's all right.
4.
4.
What is it good for?
39 to
bloody
Warner.
Nothing at this.
39 to Warner. 1 to Khawaja. 109 for 1.
Okay, we're talking 2008. Mega City Wars would be a better name for the 100 than the 100. That's true.
Mega City Wars. Yes, probably.
City Wars, definitely, yes.
Smith, Maxwell, Stoinis, Carey, the batsman to come, really. Coulton Isle can wield the willow. So can Pat Cummins. So can Stark. The only one who can't really is Zampa. So it's a pretty strong batting lineup that Australia have got. We talk about the England lineup, but that's not a bad lineup at all, I'd say. Cummins at 9 and Stark at 10.
No, it's all right.
Nabi back into the attack, round the wicket to Khawaja, the left-hander. He's hoping to get some spin away from him, but it doesn't look to me as if it's doing very much out
I
there.
think these days you need to bat quite low down, really, don't you?
You do, you do.
Someone's cooking barbecue, aren't they?
Are they?
Can you not smell
anything. No, I can't.
Jesus
He's
Christ,
in,
my
around the
smells
wicket
terrible.
again, and Khawaja is onto the back foot. Plenty of time to ease that through the cover field. Takes the single. 110 for 1.
Right, Leah says, don't drag 2000 in Drudge Dead and the muck that is 100. The Apocalypse
Yes.
Wars, I was thinking there was also Block Wars before, so it was a whole year. Of you can see I've got a bug in my bonnet here, but
You
there was
really
a whole
do.
year. It was basically Block Wars followed by Apocalypse Wars. And fucking great stories, worth a fortune now, I'm telling you.
Tells us,
Anyway.
tells us a lot about the bear, doesn't it? That's a really
He's
round
bitter.
arm delivery. Turned away into the onside, and they'll take the easy single. Now, the only person who seems to be getting any spin at all is Rashid with his googly. And you saw that also, quite a bit of spin that Rashid got with his googly as well. It's almost as if that extra turn of the wrist, or that when you
extra purchase on the ball.
gets extra purchase, isn't it? Nabi is a finger spinner. He's not getting very much at all. He throws this terribly wide.
Oh.
Not only is it an
God.
awful ball, it's an awful piece of wicket keeping from Mohammad Shahzad, who allows that to escape underneath his hands.
5.
And it's 5 wides, which is something that they could ill afford.
Now,
You haven't got a 5, have
no, I haven't got a 5.
you? Do a 4.
I'll do a 4.
It's Nissan
Plus 1.
Plus 1.
It's Nissan
Plus 1.
Plus 1.
Mine
one in
says,
Japanese?
who's the dark horse that can make the semis? He reckons Afghanistan. Personally, I don't think so.
This is again nothing more than a defensive shot, but through the unguarded mid-off area, it will bring Khawaja another single. 2 balls to go. We'll have a change. I imagine that Knuckle will be returning to the fold.
And someone's going to take over from me because I am going to go.
You got to go.
You gotta go.
Onto the back foot goes Warner. Defends. He's on 40 now from 65. It's 117 for 1. I'm not sure who else is coming on. It looks like it's Nick. And anyone else fancy a go? Well, in that case, you're keeping the bear. Defended into the onside, and that is the end of the over. 20 overs bowled. Australia 117 for 1. Khawaja has 3. Warner has 40.
And goodbye. Yep. No, you could do some tweets.
And this is a good one from Messages, actually. He says, speaking of fans, the £5 full-strength pints are taking a toll on the English drunks, who are now liberating their inner wankers. What a lot of noxious tossers. I don't think it's probably full-strength pints. They're just lightweights and they've been drinking too much, Messi. Because no one ever does full-strength shit at venues. Knuckle is in. He's going to stick on a mic. I'm going to run over there and go and get a beer as well.
You're listening to Guerrilla Cricket's coverage of the Men's 2019 World Cup. This is the 4th game. It's Afghanistan versus Australia at Bristol. Afghanistan won the toss and batted first and made 207 all out. Australia rather 117 for 1 after 20 overs. Gulbadin Naib is into Usman Khawaja, the Australian captain, into the elegant Aussie number 3. He's around the wicket, ball's full, and it's clipped by Khawaja into the leg side. Man comes round from mid-wicket to field, and they come through for 2. I'm Knuckle M. Pandey. I'll be doing your jingles, but I'll be doing a little bit of ball by ball while the bear just gets himself sorted. Nick Martin is over there on the left of my left, reading your tweets and playing your reading your Facebook Live messages.
Far left, even.
Yes, indeed. If you're to the far left of me, you're very far left indeed. Gulbadin in around the wicket to Usman Khawaja, again full on the legs. A bit of a dive in instalments from the man at mid-on, but manages to get down and stop that. They come through for a single. David Warner back on strike on 40. A rather becalmed 40 off 66, but there is no pressure in terms of net run rate. David Warner's looked a little bit stuck between 2 minds here as to whether he should really go for it in the manner that Chris Gale and the West Indies did yesterday, and Gupta Munro did for New Zealand earlier. Back of the hand slow ball by Gulbadin, tossed up outside off stump. Warner defends back to the Afghan captain, and there is no run. Our coverage of this tournament is brought to you in association with Betway. If you go to betway.com/GC Radio, you will get exclusive odds and offers only for Guerrilla Cricket listeners. We've got Bet to the Day through every single tournament, and you can also support us at patreon.com/Guerrilla Cricket. I'll hand over to the Bear.
Gulbadin is bowling, and he gets carved by Warner down behind square. Backward point. Third man's too fine. 4 runs.
1 2 ka 4 4 2 ka 1. My name is Lakhan. My name is Lakhan.
Currently on Betway, David Warner is 100 to 30 to hit the winning runs.
That's random. I never like bets like that. They are totally random. 130. Right. The other, obviously, we should tell you about is our friend Manny. He brews beer called the Hairy Dog Brewery, and I have a can in my hand, and they are quite tasty. I'm about to drink one. Nicely driven by Warner. Full outside off stump by Gulbadin. Driven
Responsibly.
Never. That's 2 runs. Warner retains strike, moves on to 46 off 69. He's taking his time, he's got plenty to do it. Kawaj is on 6 off 8, 126 for 1, target 208. Can't imagine Australia taking much more than 33, 34 overs to get there.
No, but it's interesting that they've taken a slightly different approach. I guess 207 is not the kind of target that you can necessarily try and blast your way to in 15 overs.
No, I don't think so. I mean, they've taken the chances when they have. I mean, there's been some poor bowling, to be fair. It's a no ball, free hit.
By Afghanistan?
Yeah, it's not been great. Driven up to mid-off. No run, but a no ball. Free
Generally
hit.
speaking, would you say that bowling is their stronger suit, or...?
I'd say with Afghanistan, their bowling is the stronger suit. They've always got chances at top order. If they click, there's some big hitters there, you know.
If Shahzad and Hazratullah get going, they very rarely ever get going in the same game, but if one of them gets going, it's good. It'll be a lot of fun to watch.
And it creates a platform for everyone else as well. But they do, and they'll have days. Oh dear, that's a filthy ball by Gulbadin. That's wide. It's the no ball, so it's given as a wide, so the free hit retains.
So that's effectively 2 off 0 deliveries in that last 2 balls. I mean, we had great fun watching Hazratullah when we covered the T20 leg of Ireland's series in Dehradun against Afghanistan. Hazratullah in that second one-day international was absolutely brilliant.
Yeah. That's a filthy ball. It's been hit up in the air though, and mistimed by.
Oh!
Not even caught.
Not even dropped, even.
Well, not even dropped, even. By how many chasing back from mid on? They'll get back for 2, so that no ball did end up costing 4.
Yeah, that was a slower ball. That back of the hand slow ball that Gulbadin. It's a similar ball he got Finch with, and Warner was so early on it. Actually, very well bowled by Gulbadin. It just stuck in the pitch a little bit. Warner got right under it, and Hamid Hassan trying to chase it back from mid on just never quite managed to get hands on it. Would have been a good catch running and watching it over his shoulder, but nothing doing. What have we got on Twitter and Facebook, Nick?
We've got lots. Most of it is previous conversations that I have got no interest in catching up on. So
brutal.
That's brutal. But
I'm going to start anew. I'm going to acknowledge Leah by saying, "Long live the motherland, comrade."
It's down leg side, around the wicket by Nabi, missed by the keeper, and it's scooted all the way down to fine leg boundary, so it's going to be 5 wides.
And Evil Scootus is updating us that Serena Williams has lost her first set in the match just now.
Oh, okay. Of course, it's the big game tonight. Driven.
Not the Champions League.
Yes, the Champions League. Driven by Khawaja, palmed by cover down towards long off, and they'll get through for a single. 136 for 1. Because I'm a Liverpool man. I'm really hoping they do it. See you later.
You say goodbye to Annie Chave.
See you later, Annie. Tossed up outside off stump. Doesn't really turn. Warner goes back, attempts to cut it, gets an under edge out to cover in the end. And
you want Liverpool to win?
Absolutely, man.
As an Arsenal fan, I hope Liverpool absolutely batter Tottenham
I just
tonight.
have the absolute fear of losing to another English team, because that's just the most depressing thing. Clipped into the leg side by Warner, nearly square.
Well, you won't lose to a non-English team.
Well, exactly, but that's the thing, you know.
As an Arsenal fan, how scary is it that you got battered by Chelsea the other night? And
this is exactly it.
And that Spurs could win tonight.
It's going to happen, isn't it?
No, it
No, fuck off. That's carved behind square by Warner. It's too short.
Kawaja.
Two down. Kawaja, sorry. Down leg side. He's pulled it behind square. It's 4 runs. What's going on?
1, 2, 3, 4. 4.
And she's out.
Yeah, Nubby's been a little bit disappointing today. He's bowled a little bit too fast and too flat.
Yeah, a little bit too straight as well. Defended by Kawaja, out to cover this time for no run. Still 10 off the over so far, 11 in fact. 1 ball left on the back foot. Goes deep in his crease. Kawaja forces it out to the man on the cover boundary. Get themselves a single, retains the strike. 1-4-2 for 1. Australia are cruising this.
Isn't English football the winner?
Well, in a lot of respects it is. I mean, our coefficient for European whatever it is that decides how many teams we have in Europe will, although it lags by about 2 or 3 years, this year we'll get a massive boost. Which means in a few years' time we might even get a 5th team in Europe by automatic selection. Who knows? Afghanistan got 207, Australia 142 for 1. Finch was out for 66 off 49. Warner's 49, not out off 73. Kawaja's in on 12. Only man, 2 men. Okay, so Najibullah got 50. Rashid smashed a quick 27.
And Gulbadin got a very effective 31.
Yeah.
Speaking of Rashid Khan, Afghanistan have brought their main man back into the attack.
Yeah. His first ball is clipped by Kawaja out towards deep square leg. I mean, he is a secret weapon.
It's not that much of a secret.
Well, he's not. Yeah, well, he's not a secret, is he? But I mean, he's
60 required.
He's going for 8.67 and over. Now a lot of people have seen him now as well.
Yeah, but
he's a great bowler. Don't get me wrong, but you know, and he's going to have bad days, and this is maybe one of them. And they haven't got enough runs on the board, and the
He's
pressure's
also
on.
20.
Yeah, it's true.
Ish.
That's a good shot by Warner. Just leans back, cuts it behind square quite delicately, and it runs off towards a backward point. Square is third man for 4 runs.
It's Nissan She. It's Nissan She.
And he joins he like his captain gets 50.
Yep.
With although considerably slower off 74 balls.
50 years they've been married, but they can't wait for the 51st to roll around.
Next ball is bunted up too long by Warner. Gets him off strike. Moves on to 54. What are they? Bits of cheese. What? There's 2 people. We've been sent a photo of 2 people dressed up as sandpaper in outfits. Nice. Kawaja just plays that square on the offside.
Jay Graver says, as a
No
Sheffield
run.
United fan, I couldn't give a fuck. It's not like Leeds are playing.
Well, Leeds. My friend's a Leeds supporter. He was very upset.
Good.
That's a googly by Rashid, quite straight to Kawaja. It's on about middle and legs. Didn't turn much, but straightened enough. He could just defend it out into the covers, and there was no run. 1-4-8 for 1. 60 runs required in 33 and a bit over, 33 overs and 1 ball, and 37 overs left. 27 overs left. What am I talking about?
Warner's playing for his average.
He is indeed 148 for 1.
You know, it's a very different approach, as I was saying to the one that the West Indies took in the face of a smallish total, and the one New Zealand took.
Yeah, well, when it's 100, I think it's different. When it's 200, there is a slight, errors could happen. You kind of think with 100, you can't really go wrong getting to 100. Even if you smash out and 4 people get out for 35, you've got enough to get to 100. With 200, if you get yourself into a situation where you say you're 45 for 5 because you've just gone ballistic, You could actually end up screwing that up. On the back foot, Warner punches that out to wide long off. He'll get himself a single.
I think also probably Australia aren't as confident as people may think they are.
No, no, they're not. I mean, they have had a good run in recent times, beating India and then beating an admittedly sort of second-string Pakistan team. But before that, I mean, they were
hopeless.
They were the laughing stock of one-day international cricket.
They were. It was quite hilarious, wasn't it? Clipped by Khawaja out to deep square leg.
It was hilarious.
And there is 1-1. But as a lot of people have said, you lose two of your best batsmen, it makes a big hole in you.
Well, and as I have said repeatedly, and as others have pointed out, they lost 4-1 to England in Australia with Smith, Warner, Cummins, Stark and Hazelwood.
True.
I wouldn't say Bancroft was one of their best batsmen, but...
No. Ooh. Defended out into the covers, fielded, no run. And Warner does that. Someone saying stop putting your Velcro off your thing because it's really annoying. Anyway, defendant stopped in the pitch maybe a little bit for Nabi, or maybe just held back. It was very slow. 49 miles an hour. Held it back, giving it a little bit of flight. Warner was pushing at it. He managed to stop his hands enough. It jumped off his bat, off the face. What went to nobody.
Yeah, it's much more overspin, much more dip.
Goes back, tries to cut that, can't beat the man at point. He's up inside the circle.
Knuckle, do you know who Australia play next?
Australia's next game, if you'll just give me 1 second.
To think, not check your phone.
That's defended as Nabi bowls around. Bowls around the wicket to Warner, who defends it back to him, and there is no run.
Australia's next game is on Thursday against the West Indies at Trent Bridge.
I may well be there, it turns out.
For reasons we don't need to go into on air.
Exactly.
But yeah, that could be some fun. Australia versus the West Indies at Trent Bridge. It didn't play like we expected it to the other day, but there are still plenty of runs in that surface with that weird triangular boundary where the new pavilion, not the new pavilion, but the redevelopment has cut off that side of the ground.
Leah says, since this game is basically done, I will make the bear salivate with the announcement of a Judge Dredd TV series.
Oh, really? I don't know about that. The last film was quite good. The one with Sylvester Stallone was shit. Rashid continues over the wicket. Bit top spin. A bit too full. Khawaja just guides it out through square cover. Gets himself a single.
Messages on tour.
Says
Warner's 50 is universally applauded by Afghan fans and booed by drunken English fans. Delinquently strength beer mixed with extraordinarily low IQs.
Yeah, a bit down on the English public. That's not surprising. Cut down towards short third man, who's up inside the circle. They don't go for a single by Warner.
Which is average IQ for Australians.
Yeah, what I was going to say. Come on.
What's
that? Two leg side. Warner pulls that. The man is up inside the circle on the 45 at fine leg. Beats him. Works its way down there. 4 runs. 155 for 1.
I also think Rashid is bowling a little bit too quickly. He does generally bowl quicker than most wrist spinners do. In fact, he doesn't really bowl like a wrist spinner. In truth, he holds the ball very stiffly. He really does rely on that pace that he can generate in his run-up.
Driven by that was Warner, wasn't it?
Yes.
Yeah, it was. Out through the covers. He gets himself a single.
Crickbait says, imagine going to a neutral game just to boo a player. I sort of understand if it's against England, but absolute madness in a neutral game. And I agree with that.
Well, yeah, to a degree, yeah, but they're pissed, the fucking English fans.
I don't like booing.
Reverse swept by Khawaja badly. Under edge out to what would be point to him. He was in a normal stance.
I don't like the booing of them getting 50s and 100s and things like that.
No, I don't see the point in that. You applaud it.
Yeah.
When they get out, you give them shit, and that's it. There's an appeal for OBW. I think that's going down leg side. There is no. Well, we didn't see.
It's been given.
Has it?
It's been given. I think Kawaja's wondering whether he's going to review it.
Yeah,
it was given
review
pretty
that.
instantly. My suspicion is that he's clipping the outside of leg stump. But no,
he's
Warner and
not gonna
Kawaja
review
said
it.
they don't want to bother with the review. And Rashid Khan has his first World Cup wicket. Fast and full and flat. And Kawaja missed it on his inside edge.
Oh, that's out. Yeah,
That's
well.
actually turned a little bit.
It was a googly as well, wasn't it? My initial thought was that it was the standard leg break from around a wicket.
not.
How can you give that out? But actually, it's a googly.
It's the googly that Rashid Khan bowls. He has a couple. He has the one he bowls at the thumb and forefinger, which is much easier to disguise, much harder to pick. It comes out very quickly, and it's just turned a little bit. And actually, it's beaten Kawaja on the outside edge as he's tried to play to leg. He's not picked it either. Not many pick Rashid Khan's googly, either of them. And Usman Khawaja is gone.
It's good umpiring, actually.
It is, yeah, because my initial thoughts, it's a standard leg break. He's bowling around a wicket. It's going miles down leg side, but actually he's dead right. And it's straightened enough, and it's pitched from probably about middle and maybe middle and leg, and straightened
middle enough.
I think it's hidden inside a middle stump, middle and leg actually, but either way, it's crashing
Yeah,
into the stump.
Usman Khawaja gone for 15 off 20. He hit 1-4, and that brings the former Australian captain to the crease.
Ooh, I think I had a bet on. I can't remember what it was then.
Inevitable. You know Steve Smith's inevitable. He treats the fielders like they're not really there.
See you later, Andy.
Bye, Andy.
Across the boundary line.
We've got the dream team now.
And a change of bowling for Afghanistan at the other end. Nabi out of the attack.
On the pitch he does proud. Pace complemented by his guile. Many a batsman lost their wicket to his balls. Irving remained, claimed he was the fastest.
He's in to David Warner, bowls outside off stump. Warner drives pleasantly, but with no real power or timing into the offside, and they take a single.
Indeed.
Nestle Boy says, as soon as the sun comes out in the UK, so do all the cunts.
Oh, you're saying the words. You shouldn't be saying. Smith.
What, the sun?
Yes. That's the one. You know what I mean, fool. The Pigster is facing up. Come on, Pigster. Get a golden duck. It'll be quite entertaining. Just for me.
Coming off a poor run in the IPL, but has looked his usual imperious self in recent ODIs and in the warm-up games, even though we're not really counting the warm-up games as anything worth bothering with.
Hassan bowls first ball to the Pigster is a wide down leg side. 158 for 2.
You might have to explain the Pigster thing to new listeners to Guerrilla Cricket.
Well, when he first came into Australian side, when he was very young, that's pushed off the back foot by the Pigster out to point. There is no run. So when he first came into the Australian side, he was mooted as an all-rounder leg spinner, and he was absolutely trash when he came over here in that first Ashes. Didn't get a run, couldn't take a wicket, bowled like shit, and he had a really upturned nose. And he looked like a pig, so we called him the Pigster. And in fact, Sophia of these Parish, as that's clipped into the leg side by Warner, but can only get straight to mid wicket. There's no run. Had a bet with Norcross of the Test match special box now, back in the days, that the Pigster would get, I think it was over 4,000 runs, but it was the 200 wickets thing that really did it. I mean, we didn't think he was a batsman then, but he's consequently gone and proved that wrong. But he can't bowl for toffee. And she said he was going to be an outstanding all-rounder. He laughed, and they had a bet for a lot of money, which was Soph lost, clearly. Warner goes back, defends that out into mid wicket, and there's no run. For that day, he was known as the Pigster, or Piggy Smith, but now he's the Pigster.
And there you go. But he is undeniably one of the best batsmen in the world.
Absolutely true. But he will always be the Pigster.
And he was, before his ban, the best Test batsman in the world.
Yep.
By a distance, really.
It'll be interesting to see how he does this summer in the Ashes, obviously.
You can't. It's hard to see him not scoring at least one massive 100.
Exactly. That's what he did last time. Guided down towards.
Yeah, I was
third
there.
Man. Yeah, and there will be a single. I mean, the last Ashes was weird, isn't it? Because we went 3-1 up. We went 1-0, 1-0, then went 3-1 up. But at each test, either side battered the other.
It really wasn't a good series.
It really wasn't. It ended up not being. I mean, it was only about 15 days out of 25. We ended up, when you look at the end result, it was 3-2. Although we were 3-1 up, so the last test was dead anyway. But I mean, 3-2 looks not so bad if you're Australian. Played up towards mid-on.
Yeah, Australia battered England in London,
Yeah.
and England battered Australia
Anywhere
outside
else.
London,
Yeah.
including bowling them out for 60 before lunch at Trent Bridge, which was the previous Ben Stokes ridiculous catch.
Yes, that was hilarious. That was.
Stuart Broad did quite well, didn't he?
Yeah. And that's the thing. I mean, we haven't. I mean, this is going to be also funny. We've watched so much ODI and IPL and short form pajama cricket of all sorts. It's going to be white ball cricket. We're going to see Broad and Anderson. It's going to be a whole different fucking ball game. And the funny thing is, actually,
with a very swingy Duke ball.
Yeah, exactly. But the thing is that Broad and Anderson will be just in that vein, and a lot of the batsmen will still be in bloody ODI and all sorts of. If their brains are on song,
that's why we shouldn't.
They
let
could take
Cook
advantage.
retire.
Well, I agree. Cut by Warner hard. Goulding gets a palm on it at cover.
Simon
Hemmelrick
says it's more sweary than TMS, isn't it?
Yeah, it is a bit. It is a bit. It's more beery than.
I suspect certainly in the old days of TMS, there was a hell of a lot of wine drunk.
Yeah, there was a lot of wine. What's his name was?
John Arlott.
Yeah, he was
probably white wine.
No, John Arlott.
He's a big red
John
wine.
Arlott was a big red wine drinker,
wine
Beaujolais
man.
and so forth.
He used to take a couple of bottles along a day.
A couple of cases.
Yeah.
Famous for it.
Or less racist then.
I don't think John Arlott was racist.
No, it's just helps the words flow, doesn't it? That's defended back down the track.
John Arlott was very influential in bringing Basil D'Oliveira over to England, and was one of his most vociferous defenders during the D'Oliveira affair.
Rashid up to the crease, tosses that up, defended back down the track. There's no run.
Geoffrey Boycott was very instrumental in bringing Eunice Khan to Yorkshire. Doesn't make him not a racist.
That's true. It's undeniably true. But
tossed flat indeed by Rashid Khan and wide of off stump. Smith goes back, cuts out to the point boundary, and there is a single.
But yeah, Arlott was a very strong defender of Basil D'Oliveira and a very strong critic of the MCC's kowtowing to the apartheid government, both in print and in broadcast media. So I don't think we can. I think Arlott's anti-racist credentials are pretty well proved.
He was pretty good, yeah. Round the wicket. There's an appeal for LBW. I think probably hit him outside the line. Reverse sweep attempt by Warner. I wouldn't review it. I think it hit him outside the line. It might well have gone on to hit just about.
It's hitting off stump, I think.
You think? Yeah, it probably is. They're going to
review. Well, they might as well.
Well, I think it's hit him outside the line.
Yeah.
That was out. That was out. That was definitely out. Was that definitely out?
So it was a sort of. It was that faster top spinner come googly that Rashid Khan bowls.
It was a googly. It was a standard leg break that came into.
But David Warner tried to reverse sweep it, but was beaten by the pace and a little bit of bounce. I think you're right. I think he has got himself outside the line. No, that ball kind of between the thumb and forefinger. And it's gone on with it's actually hit the glove, I think, on the way through.
Well, in that case, did the keeper catch it? That's a good point.
Let's have a look.
And then it went on to hit the thigh. No, that probably took him away. So it's gone on. It's hit the.
It's rolled up the face of the bat.
There's a little bit of bat and there's a bit of glove.
And then I think it's hit the hip and gone away from Mohammad Shahzad behind the stumps.
There's definitely a bit of glove. Which counts as the bat because it's obviously on the bat, which means he's hit it effectively, so that's not out. The only thing is, did it get caught? Clearly it didn't because there was rolling on there. I couldn't remember. No run, no out, not out, not out. The Pigster is facing up. They got a leg by. That's down leg side. They're going to go for a single. Ooh, throw out the bowler's end. He was having to run smartly to get there. I think he probably would have been in. The ball didn't hit the stumps anyway. 1 for 6, 4 for 2 at the end of the 27th. Tell us what that is. That is making you giggle so vociferously.
Ian Pierce says, we don't DM people swearing though.
Jim's arrived. You're looking very tan, Jim. Yeah.
Jim Birchall, our Kiwi umpire friend, has just returned from New Zealand's demolition of Sri Lanka at Cardiff.
Good game.
Good game for a while. Yeah, well, you say for a while. It didn't last that long. New Zealand chased it down inside the 17th over.
Yeah, they did indeed. Defended back down the track by the Pigster, and there is no run.
Yeah, we did hear that it was a fair old green. Apologies if you're hearing one side of a conversation, listeners.
We could get you in and talk if you're up for it.
Yep.
No, we are. Okay. Hassan is at the end of his run-up. That's driven out to cover by the Pigster. No run. He's a 3 off 8. Doesn't really matter. 64 off 89 for Warner. Just want to get over the line here. Afghanistan haven't done themselves horrible to service like Pakistan and Sri Lanka have. They got themselves in a bind pretty early on. Nearly got themselves out of bind and got themselves back in. But at least they kind of posted it, or they got over 200. As that's off the back foot, forced by the Pigster out to cover boundary, and he'll get.
And I think perhaps more importantly, is that they recovered from a bad start.
Yes.
And had they, they lost those 2 wickets in the space of an over to Marcus Stoinis, both Gulbuddin and Najibullah basically getting out the same way, trying to pull balls that were onto them too quickly. But Afghanistan can take a lot of credit from this, of heart from this game.
Yeah, they can take a bit of credit. There's another big appeal for LBW. It's pitched miles outside leg from Hassan. It's skewed off the pad out towards backward point. They've gone through for a leg by. No, they didn't actually.
Oh, I've just got what Ian was going on about with the we don't DM people swearing. Mr. Agnew's rant at the Telegraph's cricket correspondent.
Of course.
Bradman.
Yes.
Yeah, not a nice man himself by all accounts.
It's pitched miles outside leg. I mean, it has pinged him, and it probably would have gone on to hit leg stump.
Josh Robinson reckons he could have got close to going glass to glass with Arlott.
Yeah, well, I probably could have done in my youth. That's played out square by Smith. Straight to the fielder. He has a luz at the bowler's end, but Warner was easily back in.
Apparently Arlott bought 12 bottles of wine to the box once instead of blowers. With any luck, that will last us till lunch.
Oh my word. That's bloody hardcore. I don't believe it. He got anywhere near 12 bottles of wine, exactly. You're on the floor. I don't care who you are. That's defended out to the offside by Smith to cover. There is no run. This is all petering out to, an easy win for Australia.
But it's the key to ODI chasing, is to take the drama out of the chase. It's exactly what you want to do as a chasing side. And there's a couple of ways of doing that. With a low chase, you can do what New Zealand and the West Indies did, or you can do this, the Steve Smith method.
Well, they did. Well, I mean,
Finch went off.
They went off pretty hard to start with. I mean, they didn't have to, but they did. They didn't take that many chances, and they got some poor balls, and they lamped it out to the boundary where there was no one out in the outfield.
Yeah, I think Warner's been a little bit cautious. He's looked a little bit in two minds as to how to play this.
Yeah, but I guess he wants runs on the board. He's got 64, feels happy. He's actually in a World Cup. Get your first innings under your belt, win the game. Don't matter. He's an arse. I don't care. It's out to deep cover. Off the back foot by Warner, gets himself a single. I mean, personally, I'd love to get out for none off the first ball of the match. Or the first ball of the innings would have been lovely. But this Australia side is a much better side with Warner and Smith. I mean, we had no doubts about it. Everyone was talking about whether they're going to get them back in. It's such a fucking no-brainer. Total no-brainer. They're a much better balanced side with them in. That's driven by Smith out to long off.
Would you rather
and they get a
have
single.
Sean Marsh or Steve
Well,
Smith?
exactly. Would you?
Sure. Sean Marsh did a surprisingly good job for Australia.
He
in one
did.
cricket over the
He
last few
did.
years. He was actually the one consistent performer while Australia were really struggling. But there isn't a need for him in the side with Smith and Warner.
No. Driven by Warner straight back down the ground. I'm not sure if it hit Piggy or...
No, Rashid Khan struck a
Khan
boot
put a
out. He was trying to deflect it back onto the stumps, I think, but got too much of a boot on it.
Yeah.
Trotter in the way.
Lovely. He sort of stabbed it into the ground with his foot, and then it bounced up onto his knee and then rolled out into the leg side.
Warner around a wicket. Oh, that's a googly. Just guided down to short third man.
Oh, that from very wide on the crease.
He did indeed, and Smith was herring down the track already. Are we going to see a man-cad in that? Are we going to see a man-cad?
We've seen a one short. I mean, that's a...
Yeah, we did see one short.
I'd love it.
A man-cad would be hilarious.
It'll be Butler again. Stay in your crease, man.
He's had it twice now, hasn't he?
Yeah.
Clipped into the leg side, out through squarish mid-wicket. Mid-wicket's too straight. Smith picks himself up a single. Warner takes strike. They're just strolling towards victory. 6 off 13 for Smith, and Warner's 66 off 93. He won't give a shit about that. They require 38 runs to win.
When did the test start?
When did the test start? 1st of August.
Yeah.
Well, that'll be a different game, you know. And it's mano a mano then, isn't it? It's just two teams head to head for 5 tests. Entertainment.
We hope.
A long form game, we hope. Yeah.
It's been a long time since there was a good Ashes series.
Yeah, it's true. Tight one. It's true. Well, I think we all got sport by 2005, didn't we? I mean, that was one of the best test series I've ever seen in my entire life.
Yeah, 2009 was a good series.
Yeah, it was, but it wasn't that close in the end.
2009 was close. It came down to that last test at the Oval where Jonathan Trott scored the debut 100.
Yeah. And
the quality wasn't quite as high, but it was a very dramatic test, and that was also where it also required Anderson and Onions batting out at Cardiff.
No, it's, you're thinking
Anderson and Monty.
Monty, yeah. And they weirdly they were bowling Marcus North.
Yes, they were. Marcus North and Nathan Horrocks.
Yeah, it's very strange.
Played Clark.
29 overs gone, and it's over. I'm going to take a little rest from here. I presume you're all going to come in here, aren't you?
I would think so, and we'll drag some people in from the green room. Afghanistan have brought back a pace bowler, and it's this pace bowler.
That's a an Afghan bowler who rolls in with languid grace. He smashes stumps all over the place. He's played against Canada and Pakistan. He's gonna ruin your fledgling stand.
I like that. Clipped into the leg side. Oh, they're going for 2, and that would have been well out for Smith had that hit the stumps direct. I don't know why they went for 2. Just clip round a corner, ordinary clip round a corner. There's a man down at long leg. It wasn't going that slow towards him. They got a single and a half was there, but 2 was quite tight. Smith's coming back. The ball came in. Oh, he did do a little bit of a stutter, and if it had hit the stumps, he'd have been about 4 or 5 feet out.
Yeah, Hazratullah coming in from long on didn't really get to the stumps at any point. We saw Hazratullah is not a particularly good fielder. He's dropped a few catches in the outfield in recent times, and we also saw him do a terrible bit of fielding at long leg earlier today. There've been concerns over his fitness in the past.
Guided into the offside by Warner. Goes to the man, back to the point, no run. Who's up inside the circle? 173 for 2. The Aussies.
Dr. Leonie Hicks.
Oh, hello.
Says the bar at Southampton University is named in honour of Arlott.
Ah, there you go.
Makes sense.
Why would you not have a bar named in honour?
A wine bar, I hope.
Oh yeah.
Surely a university doesn't have a wine bar. That seems very unlikely.
Smashed. 2 wide. Full by Dawat and driven out towards the deep cover boundary. They get back for 2. They're cruising now. Australia 71 off 97 is Warner. 175 for 2. This is the 30th over, so 20 to go. I said 33 or 34 overs. I think this game will be done. I think I'm pretty much on target for that, to be honest. maybe one or two more, maybe 36.
Aaron Finch got them well ahead of the rate,
Yeah, exactly.
and since then they've
just been cruising.
very well controlled, as you say.
No need to do anything else. Darwell around the wicket to Warner, who drives that straight with beautiful timing. Mid-off is wide, but up inside the circle, and it hits it pretty straight. It was aerial. If it had been a straight mid-off, it might have been a wicket, but instead it's raced down to boundary 4 runs.
It was nicely controlled. He used the bottom hand really well there, David Warner, to
keep it
make sure
straight.
that the bat came through straight.
Yeah.
And made sure that he got it straight over the man at mid-off.
Could have quite easily sliced it a little bit further. 2 balls left in my stint. Dawa around a wicket, 8 off this over already. Just played out to mid-wicket. There is a man there. Not particularly well timed by Warner. I'd be happy with that. He's going at 75 pretty much per 100 balls. And looking very happy with life. Back in the big time. Having been on the sidelines for a year. Taz is going to come in. And
is anyone else going to come in?
Nah, well, it's going to be over pretty soon, isn't it?
Afghanistan, we'll come back to that after this ball.
All right, last ball of my spell, just dropped into the offside, behind square by Warner, short enough of the man at backward point. Smith calls him through. Warner retains the strike, 76 for 100 balls, 180 for 2. Smith on 6. Darwat's number 29 and 4. Naka will be the next voice you hear.
Bet your way with Gorilla Cricket. We've partnered with Betway to bring you daily World Cup special offers, available only to Gorilla Cricket listeners. Sign up at betway.com/GC Radio. That's betway.com/GC Radio. And help keep the bear up to his neck in beers.
You get so terribly unruly without it. I mean, really unmanageable. Turns into a bit of a bear, feel it? Nobody wants that. Do you want that? No. I didn't think so.
Yes, throughout this tournament we're partnering with Betway to bring Gorilla Cricket listeners exclusive odds and enhanced offers. Betway.com/GC Radio. Afghanistan have brought one of their spinners back into the attack. Rashid coming out of the attack and being replaced by the man who opened the bowling for Afghanistan. We'll get him a jingle in a second. He starts with one rolled, rolling top spinner, which is worked by David Warner through third man for 2.
Don't joke about the Taliban with Mujibur Rahman. Don't joke about the Taliban. He's not a fan.
In fact, the reason they got to is because the throw from the man at mid-wicket was really poor, and Mohammad Shahid couldn't gather cleanly, and they came through for an overthrow. Second ball of the over is better, fuller and straighter, and blocked by David Warner. Back to Mujibur Rahman. There is no run. Mujibur again wider of the crease, holds this one back a little bit, and Warner comes forward and pushes past extra cover all the way up to Rashid Khan on the long off boundary. They come through for a single. Afghanistan may already be turning their thoughts to Tuesday when they take on Sri Lanka in a game that a lot of people would be thinking that Afghanistan may even be favourites and with Sri Lanka the way they're going, why not? Oh, an edge from Steve Smith, but perhaps a little deliberate edge, just ran it fine through where the slips would have been to a full ball outside off stump, but Stephen Smith picks up 4 as Taz apparently takes some snuff. The front of the hand leg break that Mujib bowls kind of off the middle finger, but Smith was equal to it. That one's a little bit shorter, a little bit more top spin, and Smith punches off the back foot to Hashmatullah in the covers, and there is no run.
Where is the game on Tuesday?
The game on Tuesday is at, bear with me 1 second, as this turns in to Steve Smith, who worked this around the corner to fine leg for a single. That game is at Cardiff. We'll have every single ball over that game. The next game we're doing, though, is on Monday between England and Pakistan at Trent Bridge. 2 teams will be very familiar with each other, given their run-soaked exploits over the last month or so. We'll be on air at 10:10 on Monday morning for that. Tomorrow's game between Bangladesh and South Africa will be covered by GCSA, our friends down there in Johannesburg. After 31 overs, chasing 208 to win, Australia are 188 for 2. Nick, what do we got on Facebook and Twitter?
Not very much, really, at the moment.
I think it's a languidly paced game at the moment. And maybe that's why the tweets aren't rolling in.
Yeah, a few people resetting themselves for games to come. Dowleth is going to continue bowling his fifth over, right arm over, with that slinging action of his bowls back of a length. That slightly troubles Stephen Smith for pace. So this pitch is kind of adding a couple of miles an hour to fast bowlers as Smith drops it into the leg side, and there is no run. A lot of our thoughts here at Gorilla Cricket are turning tomorrow to our friend and colleague Tony Bishop's 60th birthday party, at which a number of us will be in gleeful attendance out there in the wilds of Surrey.
Is Surrey that wild?
Yes. I don't think so. 3 men up in the offside, 2 in the leg as Dowlett is into Steve Smith. It's short. Smith plays the pull shot very well, and he just controls this one nicely out to the man on the deep square leg boundary. They come through for a single. And Mujib out there on the square leg boundary, whose throwing arm has improved considerably in the last few years. It used to be someone you had to hide in the field, but he took that steepling catch from Aaron Finch very well, and has seemed to have developed his throwing arm.
Well, yeah, I think that T20 experience has helped, hasn't it? Fielding drills.
Yeah, when he was playing for Hampshire, they used to try and hide him anywhere. Dowleth is in round the wicket to David Warner's back of a length, and Warner just drops this into the offside to point. There's a shy at the stumps from the man at point, but Warner is lightning quick, and even though the throw was off target, had it been on target, I think David Warner would have been home. He gets a single, moves to 80.
Chris Paul, save with the Bush Hospital, says this World Cup has lacked close games so far, but these are early days.
I totally agree. And as the conditions change and on different pitches, matches won't be quite as one-sided as a couple of these last matches that we've seen will have been. Things are going to change in different conditions. You're going to have different levels of...
You can't read anything on the third day of the tournament. Dowleth in, fourth ball of the over, goes a little wider on the crease and angles this into Steve Smith, who just blocks in to the leg side, and there is no. Do we have anything on Facebook Live? I wonder if our Afghan friends are still commenting.
A little bit interesting about like some games like this, they don't matter on the day, they don't get interesting, they don't like capture you. But when it comes to qualification time, and maybe your net run rate depends on...
This is kind of the point I was trying to get to with the different approach that New Zealand and West Indies have taken. Afghanistan's net run rate isn't going to take that much of a beating. Also, they didn't get bowled out in 16 overs or whatever it was. That's a short ball from Dowleth. He is capable of generating pace from that whippy action of his. It's a good bounce as Smith ducked under it comfortably, though, through to the keeper. More with Shazad that goes, there is no run.
Jay Grover says, Nick, you gigantic egoistic bellend. There's loads on Twitter, thou knobgoblin.
Shakespearean insults from our friend Jay Grover.
So really, the returning Hassan has been the pick of the bowlers for Afghanistan so far.
Overs.
He hasn't gotten any success.
Six overs, none for 15 and 2 maidens is pretty impressive. This is a short ball, and Steve Smith pulls this away nicely down to the man on the long leg boundary. It's Rahmat Shah out there, sporting a very natty pair of mirrored blue sunglasses. They come through for a single. Smith moves to 13, Warner on 80. 32 overs gone. Afghanistan made 207. Australia in reply 191 for 2, closing in on victory to start their World Cup defence.
Jay, I'm just reading what's on the screen. I'm just taking orders.
Stay away from that defence.
So what Hamid Hassan has done in this match is pretty much what he did in Scotland when they had the one warm-up game that they did actually get to play.
Tell us more about Scotland.
Yeah, please see. Because they on a pretty unforgiving pitch at Edinburgh. It's a fast pitch. It's a run-scoring.
It's a batsman's pitch. It's really lovely. It's fantastic.
Mujib is
it's raining.
Bowling this out of the back of the hand with a little bit of overspin, and Stephen Smith comes forward and pushes up to the man on the long off boundary. So he was bowling economically. In
Exactly. So on a day that he's playing on a ground that's relatively small, it's not a bowler's best friend. He just put it in like the same spot all day long. Was very economical. Didn't trouble anybody. I don't think he took wickets either.
Mujib is going round the wicket and very wide on the crease to David Warner. Good running between the wickets. Actually, if the throw had been better from the man coming in from the mid-wicket boundary, there might have been a little bit of trouble for Smith at the non-strikers end, but the throw was wide, and so the 2 was taken very easily. It is noticeable, actually, that Afghanistan, for still an up-and-coming team, their fielding is not great.
It's not, and I bet that Coach Phil Simmons wouldn't be too pleased about that, because I know he does focus on coaching fielding drills.
He made his island team into a very decent fielding team, for sure. This is, again, sort of out of the from the top of the hand from Mujib, forcing Warner onto the back foot. He worked this down to short fine leg for a single. Phil Simmons, who will no longer be Afghanistan coach after this tournament, his contract is expiring and he's not taking up another one. This one comes in to Smith, and he plays this nicely out into the leg side. A great manipulator of spin bowling, Steve Smith, throughout his career, and he turns what could have been a dot ball into a very well run and very comfortable 2.
No context. Chris Acquire says Billy Joel.
Billy Joel.
Sounds like a cult greeting. Mujib in bowls from mid-crease over the wicket to Steve Smith, who goes on the back foot and pushes to short fine leg, and that's some illustration of what we were talking about. There should never have been a single there. It went straight to the man at short fine leg, who is quite very close in. He's about he's almost in a leg gully position, but Smith has so perfectly judged the pace of that with the soft hands, and the man at short fine leg didn't really attack it. And this is to David Warner, fullish on middle and leg, and just pushed inside out to Rashid Khan on the long off boundary. Afghanistan seem to have lost the spirit, lost the appetite for this somewhat, and after 33 overs, Australia ran 199 for 2.
Arthurshire asks, is Mog going to burst out of the birthday cake and sing happy birthday, Mr. Bishop?
Can we arrange that at short notice?
I don't think that we should be ruining surprises for Tony's party.
I don't think we've got a birthday cake big enough.
Ouch.
Messages on tour. The English fans becoming increasingly morose and abusive with each run that Warner and Smith score.
You've got to get your fun somehow. Bristol's a really nice city. Go and do something.
Like Smasher. No, Ben Smith.
Bristol's a...
Stokesy.
Ben Smith? Who's Ben Smith?
Ben Smith.
Someone
I went to school with.
Bristol's a lovely city. There's plenty to go and do. Even if
Get
you do,
out, Jez.
Even if you do stay clear of embargo. Rashid Khan is going to bowl the 34th over. He's back into the attack with Australia needing just 9 runs to win. Rashid in over the wicket to David Warner. The googly, which Warner sort of half picks and prods forward into the offside. There is no run.
At Ben Searle says, hashtag not all palms.
Oh, God. Rashid into his Sunrisers Hyderabad teammate David Warner tosses this up full on the leg stump. And that's nicely played by Warner out to deep backward square. The man comes round to his left to field and they come through 4-2, and Australia are just going to sort of 1 and 2 and nudge and noodle their way to victory.
They've gone at a relatively consistent run rate the entire
Aaron
34 overs.
Finch blasted away early and then put them into a situation where they could very much control this chase, which you've seen teams screw up chases of 208, but Australia don't look like doing that and haven't looked like it all game. This is faster and flatter from Rashid Khan, and Warner goes on the back foot and cuts out to Mujib on the deep point boundary. They come through for a single.
Leah asks, what do you think will happen once England lose their first game on a veritable road? Will the groundsman vanish, never to be seen again? Will the World Cup be cancelled and never to be spoken again?
Who's going to beat England on a road? Maybe the West Indies? Maybe.
Australia.
As we say goodbye to our head honcho Nigel Henderson. Rashid goes round the wicket to Steve Smith. Bowling the top spinner full outside off stump. Smith goes on the front foot and drives down to long off for a single. Australia 203 for 2, need just 5 to win.
Well, it's been a very controlled chase. They did not look in trouble at any time, and that's what I was trying to say about Hamid Hassan earlier, is that he's economical He did the same thing in Scotland as well, but he was not threatening.
Useful if you've got runs on the board and control is actually your friend. The googly from Rashid Khan, fifth ball of his over, turned a little bit, but Warner just pushed it comfortably to mid-off. There was no run. There is a run this time. Very soft hands from David Warner, pushing to the man at short mid-wicket. Despite the presence of the short mid-wicket, they do come through for a single. Not brilliant fielding from the man at short mid-wicket or from the man backing up Rahmat Shah coming into the offside. So that's 5 runs off Rashid Khan's 8th over. Afghanistan are having made 207, are facing a heavy defeat. Australia 204 4-2 in the 34th over.
Evil Scooters is checking out for the night. Thanks for your work. Good evening, Evil Scooters.
Yes, we'll
see you, Scoots.
See you, Evil. We'll be back ourselves on Monday, but tune in tomorrow for Guerrilla Cricket South Africa's coverage of South Africa's second game against Bangladesh at the Oval. Faf du Plessis' men looking to get their first win of the tournament, and Mashrafe Mortaza's men looking to continue their excellent progress over the last few years. Mujib is into the attack and almost gets Warner caught and bowled. This was the classic off spinner from Mujib. A little bit of flight, a little bit of dipped on Warner, and he pushed forward, but with soft enough hands that it didn't carry to Mujib. There is no run. That's shorter from Mujib, and Warner goes on the back foot and punches it to the leg side of the bowler, despite Mujib trying to come across to cut that off. He was not able to, and they come through for a single. 3 needed to win.
So off of David Warner's 114 balls, that was the first ball that he looked particularly threatened.
For sure. I think there was one googly from Rashid Khan earlier. This is the Karen ball, I think, from Mujib. Fuller and faster and flatter. Smith prods forward into the covers, and there is no run. Both Smith and Warner wearing a little bit of strapping on their elbow. They both had elbow injuries in recent times. That's wide outside off stump, and I think Smith has given that away. It was floated up outside off stump. Smith played a really nothing drive at it, and it looped off the top edge to Hazratullah Zazai at short third man. He isn't the most reliable fielder in the world, but he was never going to drop that.
Straight to his hands.
Mujib has his wicket. It was the sort of the leg spinner rolled off the middle finger. Smith knew instantly that what he had done, but too little, too late. But Mujib is in the wickets. He is a World Cup wicket taker. Stephen Smith gone for 18 off 27 with 1-4. But Australia 205 for 3, needing just 3 to win.
So who do we think Australia may send in for the task of the remainder of these runs?
You may as well send in Alex Carey, give him a bat.
give him a single 2 balls to face.
Glenn Maxwell's scheduled to come in at number 5. Soinus at 6 and Carey at 7. I don't actually think they'll be that flexible or funky with it. But yes, we'll...
Whoever's padded up.
Pretty much, yeah. Nick, what have we got on Twitter?
Jez on tour says, I like Bristol, went to school 20 miles from here, just have to avoid drunk English cricket fans.
They are not being funky. It is the man who, for some reason, is not an automatic pick in all formats. But
Maxi Ball.
Here he is.
If I had $1 million, I'd buy you a Glenn Maxwell, and we are no longer friends.
Very good interview that Mel Farrell of ESPN Cricinfo did with Glenn Maxwell the other day, which I can thoroughly recommend. He will be on strike to Mujib. 3 needed to win. Reverse sweep for 4. Reverse sweep for 4. Boo. But it is a 4, and Australia have won by 7 wickets. It was full outside off stump. Glenn Maxwell lofted it over long off, and Australia have strolled to victory by 7 wickets with 15.1 overs remaining. Afghanistan recovered from a really bad start, losing both openers for Ducks, to put themselves into a position where they could have got a competitive total, but once Gulbuddin and Najibullah fell in the same over to Marcus Stoinis, even Rashid Khan's slap-happy approach at the end couldn't get Australia up to a defensible total. Aaron Finch got them well ahead of the rate, and even though he and Andusman Khawaja and Steve Smith fell for Australia. The victory was never truly in doubt. Australia start their World Cup defence with a comfortable victory in the end.
Yeah, 7 wickets, and it felt like they walked that right at the end. Steve Smith gave it away a little bit. Maybe he lost concentration with the low runs needed. But apart from that, David Warner looked great. Finch looked comfortable as well. Just having a little bit of a practice, getting ready for a summer in England.
For sure, yeah. We've talked a little bit about the Test series that is to come, but David Warner finishes 89 not out. Glenn Maxwell hitting that for first ball to seal a victory. Do we have any final tweets, Nick?
We've got some tweets, but mostly just thank yous. Thank you, Suvigal. Thank you, Badshah. Thank you, Abhishek. Thank you, Chris TB. Thank you, Canal, Jez, Durban Oak, Scootus, Chris Quire, and Jay Graver. You can fuck off.
Thank you to anyone else who's listening but doesn't tweet in.
Yeah, thank you to everyone who's been listening. Thank you to everyone who's been tweeting. Thank you for your continued support on Facebook Live, particularly the Afghan fans. You guys always come out in force in support.
We do love the Afghanistan fans.
In force in support of Guerrilla Cricket on Facebook Live. We on GC UK will be back on Monday at 10:10 in the morning. But please do listen to Guerrilla Cricket South Africa's coverage of Bangladesh South Africa tomorrow. We, between ourselves and Guerrilla Cricket South Africa, will have every single ball of the 2019 Men's World Cup. With 4 games in, there's plenty more to go, so please do not change your internet devices away from GuerrillaCricket.com. But I think that all that remains for me to say is thank you to Nick Martin.
Thank you.
Thank you to Tasneem Somerset Khan.
Thank you.
Thank you to the Bear. Thank you to Annie Chave. Thank you very briefly to Hendo, and thank you to Andy Ward. We will be back, as we say, on Monday, but please do listen to GCSA tomorrow, and please all be thoroughly lovely to each other. We shall send you away with this fine theme tunes in the theme tunes, as lovingly composed by James Sherwood. Goodbye.
Peace out.
Guerrilla